And we're back for real, everyone. Audio should be good. Faces should be good. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. And I'm so glad to see everyone here on this Friday of a lot of stress all around the world. And I hope that these next 3 hours will bring you a little bit of joy and some great feels. We have a little message spinning a little City of Light and Shadow hype. Everyone looks très chic. Thank you, Strike Red Kite. Everyone, you know what? I would like us to, at this moment, have everyone who's in the cast just introduce themselves. Just say who you are and tell us a little bit about the character you are playing, and then we'll get into it a little bit. And let's go backwards this time, and let's start with Rocket Fox. Who are you? And tell us who you're playing.
Who am I? What a deep question. So I actually am Rocket Fox, and I am a purveyor of many fine, strange things. You can find me any place online. If you look up Rocket Fox, that will likely be me. I have also recently started my own stream again. So that's very exciting on Thursdays at 3 p.m. Central, the weirdest time possible. So as to protect myself from too many scary people. But yeah, I do a lot of gaming, artistries, making of things. I'm a storyteller, illustrator, actress, etc. And I am playing Sylvie Moreau, and she is a sassy jazz singer with maybe a little history of philandering. We shall see.
Did you say philanthropy?
Yes.
That's what I heard.
that's
it's basically the same thing.
Yeah. Jazz, philanthropy.
Philandering. I don't see the difference.
I don't know if you can see this, but
it's giving out
should do more philanthropy then.
I don't know if you can see this, but right here, there's a poster right here on my wall back there. And this is a poster for the old show that I was streaming, Night Witches, Toil and Trouble. And this was artisted, i.e. drawn by our Rocket Fox. That is her art right there.
Oh,
that is nice.
Yeah. It's the whole cast and all the NPCs right there.
Cool.
Yeah. So next up, going backwards, is Little Red Dot. Who are you? How are you? And who is your character?
I am Little Red Dot. I'm here. I am healthy and well. That is all I can ask for. And for this game, because I've been very excited since last week about coming back. And we're here doing the thing. I'm bringing back our kind of... She turned out to be way sassier than I planned, but that could be all the Americans in our life. Regina, who is the German-born spy, but she spied for the state. Well, she spied for Britain, technically, and got caught, and she has sought refuge here in the great state of France.
That is true.
And she's just trying to hold down a low profile.
Oh, well, that might be difficult because of our next player, Stiver. Why don't you introduce yourself and
what up?
And your banana shirt.
Yeah, in my banana shirt. I decided to actually go full tango today.
Never go full tango.
Never go full tango.
I cannot say how much I love that banana shirt.
Yeah, thank you. You're the only one. Everyone I've all brought up the banana shirt to has said, please change. So.
Oh, that's so sad.
I know.
It's really nice.
They're wrong.
Yeah,
they are.
It is a pretty snazzy shirt.
Thank you very much. My mother does not think so. No. So I am Stiver. You can find I am Stiver I'm sorry, it's Holy Stiver. I am Stiver. Don't search that. That's my personal stuff. My nerdtainment stuff is all Holy Stiver stuff, I believe. But you can find me on such podcasts as Loot and Dagger, Stellar Arcanum, and NXNQ as of recently, where Little Red Dot was the DM, and she did an amazing job. If I can just throw that back over to her, it was an amazing, wonderful work. But
it's not done yet.
It's not done yet. It makes it
seem like it's over. It's not done.
I know it's not done. There's so much more to go, and it just keeps getting weirder. If you like weird, go check out North My Request right now. So anyways, no one cares about that. You care about right here, right now, I'm playing Tango. And Tango is a con artist. As you can see by the banana shirt, this is all you need to know about Tango. He is pretty loud. He's a just that American, just loud guy. And he was actually kind of thrown in here, not against his will, but not necessarily did he want to do this. So that's going to be fun to play out.
Mm-hmm. And last but not least, we have JF, Double Crits.
Bonjour. I'm Double Crits. I play on Witcher Wednesdays with Tales from the Grim with Foxhole, who just made me his knight. So I'm going to be extra nice today. I've been pretty excited to play tonight. I'm playing Jules César, a demobilized French soldier from Paris, returning to Paris after not even having had the chance to fight. And so he returns not having had a chance to fight for his country, but very committed to defending his city. And that's where we're at. He's a great driver with a need for speed.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. So let's get the rundown. This is an amazing cast. I'm very excited. If you want to support them, you can. We have one more fate point available to them through the extra credits. And those are 5. Oh, and Vulpes just claimed it. Thank you, Vulpes. Vive la Resistance. That is then the last bit of support from London for this session, and I'm going to give them that. They currently have 8 group fate points, but they
so flashy this session.
But they only get 1 on their own. So let's hope they don't need them. You can also support with tips if you like, and also there's a Patreon. You can support that. Any tips messages or donation messages I will read out at the break and at the end. And I also have a great break surprise for you for break audio, which I'm excited about. I also want to give a bit of a shout out to Jer, our mod, who's throwing in the commands to give you the links to all of our amazing cast members. So this is episode 2, the last episode, Errands and Espionage. We got to meet all of our characters, going about some of their daily business. The life of a spy is sometimes solitary and a little bit scary. And they all did a little bit of things on their own. Sylvie went to go and get the rations because it is we're Monday, May 12th, 1941, and everything is very, very rationed. Food is hard to come by in Paris. And in this space, she got to meet Jeanette, Jeanette Roland, who is a woman with very expensive clothes and bleached blonde hair, a French woman who is going to be a singer, who is a singer, who says she's a singer, who imagines herself a singer.
That's gracious. That's very gracious.
Yeah, and she has a friend, and that friend is Helmut Wilhelm Falke, who is a colonel and in charge of German military intelligence in Paris, and that's how she seems to get a lot of her favors. And Sylvie, last episode, sort of made sort of friends with her, invited her over to the club. We also had and then Jules was picked up because Jules is he's Black French. He's mixed race and works at night, and so he was picked up with a lot of other people to go and do some work for the Nazis the next day. They need people who can lift heavy things, and also they need some drivers to do some work. And everyone is supposed to, labor is compulsory. He was able to get out of doing this long term because he has a job at the cafe, at the nightclub. But in the process, he made friends with a young 16-year-old boy named Luke, who seems to have a connect for perhaps some illegal goods. And he was able to get Luke out of sort of compulsory labor by saying that Luke works at the club as well. Our Regina made her first message to London in Morse code. She sort of found a space to go and broadcast, which is a very dangerous thing because Nazis are always traveling through the countryside and the city with their detector vans to see if they can hear somebody transmitting. And then if they can, they will find you and then they will capture you. And she was able to, sort of posing as a person taking photographs, an art student, get out a message to London where she got to meet her contact, her godmother, it's called, the one who looks out for her regular contact, who will be her regular contact, Ophelia. That's the code name. And get message that they were to go and meet a contact at the Paris train station who's part of the Comet Line, the little mouse. She brought back this message. And our Tango, rather than staying in the safe house in the club where he would not cause trouble, decided that he had a mission. And that mission is that London needs copies of, they need ID and papers and passes and all the stamps from the different regions so they can make copies and forgeries, so that when they send in agents, those agents can have good current copies and not be caught. And so his job was to go and just pick up some copies, some of this documentation, and send it along with the next contact. And he goes and he meets a man named the Hawk, sort of a wiry, thin man, an older man, who gave him a package of 12 pieces of identification. Mostly, there are 12 of them. 10 of them are Jewish people, and they are not forgeries. They're actual documents, people's passports, IDs, passes with stamps. The people that are in question seem to have traveled. Some of them are Parisians, but some of them have traveled through Europe to get to Paris. And you have women also. You have these documents. You don't know where they came from, but they are not forgeries. And you have them, and you're going to send them on to London. There's a bit of a question about how the Hawk got them, and that is a question hanging in the air.
Also, we never figured out how I'm going to get that to London, right?
Well, you have a flyer who's going to be going to London. Right,
okay.
Right here.
Right. There is a right here. Okay.
There is a guy who's.
I mean, he can keep his trap shut in a club full of Nazis.
Well, that's the next point, isn't it?
One other American, and I just hate him so much.
Yeah. And so the big high point was after all of your. And then I will also sort of note that Tango asked a woman for a cigarette, and she's like, "Women cannot smoke in public here. What is wrong with you? You are clearly not from here. You need to be more subtle and careful." And they flirted a little bit, and she slipped a piece of paper into the pocket of his suit jacket, and he hasn't looked at it yet. But the group, except for Sylvie, who kept the home fires burning in the club, went out to the train station where they were to sort of find this the mouse in a red hat, something about the Comet Line. And what they found out was that they see a young woman, blonde, blue-eyed, slight limp, small scar on her chin, with a man who screamed American from his haircut, American GI, just by his haircut. And they were arriving at the train station.
He also screamed American.
And then also when he got slapped later, Tango was very observant and was able to sort of pick up that this young man, besides being a very, very obvious American soldier, is super in love with this woman that is guiding him to this space, and she is not in love with him. But also, he was able to realize that there is an ambush set up, that there were Gestapo sort of stationed all along this place, some in uniform,
a love ambush.
Ambush. And they were looking for someone. Our team, Jules, who was in the car, was able to sneak out and cut the brake lines of the Gestapo who would be following them.
Yeah, sabotage.
A little bit of sabotage.
So
and both Tango and Regina were able to basically throw them off the scent, realizing that the Nazis think that this great agent that they're looking for is a man, and so they're able to sort of throw them off the scent. Regina was like, "Oh yeah, I saw them go this way," and they were able to get this crew out. The little mouse, who is a sort of Belgian woman, was like, "I'm leaving him with you. I will pick him up in 2 days' time to get him out of Paris, but things need to be organized. And so you all are going to be keeping him safe in your safe house, because you have one in the basement of your bar, in those 2 days' time. So you have about 2 days to keep him safe, and perhaps also arrange to get some forged documents for him so he can get out of the country." And as you all brought him in through the back door of your club, which is about where we're going to pick up, a bunch of Nazis come in. Well, a bunch of German soldiers, high-ranking German soldiers, come in the front door. Jeanette and her boyfriend, the head of military intelligence, and a group of guards walk into this nightclub to check out what it is like. And we start our game when she has stepped up to sing, to show off her skills.
Trooper, you use the word sing.
Well, you know,
You described it mostly as sounds, not really singing.
Sounds, guttural noises, perhaps, might be terms that I would use.
Yes, and she has just finished singing I've Got Rhythm, which she does not, on the stage. And at this moment, we have the Colonel Falke clapping for her, and then the Germans clapping, and there's this sort of vague quiet in the crowd as people are not quite certain what to do. And it is at this moment that the rest of you three come in the back door, and your flyer, Bill.
Did he give us his name?
Oh, he did. He did give you his name.
I thought we just called him the Airman.
No, he's Bill Hickok.
I just called him Hick.
Oh my gosh! What? That's right. We called him the Hicks. That's why I didn't think he had a name.
No, his name. His call sign is Mustang, right? That's what he would like you to call him, but apparently not.
Bill Hickok.
Yeah, Bill Hickok.
What?
Yeah.
We will not call him any sort of Mustang. Under my roof, that will not be happening.
In no way.
No, and you end in that moment where he's like, "Ooh, can I get a beer?" Because he wants to go inside the club, and Regina was like, "Oh, I have a slap for you instead." And it is this moment where we bring up the curtain. Hick, Mustang, Bill, is in the sort of side. You three are in the side sort of part of the club, because you can imagine this club. There's like a big room, right? You can imagine you've got like a stage, and on the stage you've got this jazz band, and then you've got Jeanette standing there in front of this band, who are all looking somewhat disturbed. And down you've got a number of round tables, right? So like it's kind of a full, right in front of the stage there's a space for dancing, right? So you've got a good space for dancing, and then you've got all of these tables. You also have a little bit of a backstage space, because sometimes you might run some sort of cabaret, perhaps. So you might be coming in and out, right? So you can have both music, you can have sort of variety. And then behind all those curtains, if you're sort of looking at the stage, to the right is the front door, where the door comes in and they can sort of walk in, and there's a little bit of sort of curtains. You have a bit of a coat check in the corner, and in the very back you have the bar, where Charlie, this Black American woman, sort of the short cropped hair, her sleeves rolled up, is sort of tending bar. And then off to the left is where you've got another curtain, which will take you to bathrooms, but also back where storage is, and then downstairs where the basement is, to where you have all of your storage, but then also a false wall, which will take you to this room. And so you three are behind this curtain, but you can hear what's going on in the bar.
The storage curtain?
You're right, like you're on the top floor with the bar on the other side of that curtain, and you're like close to you can see the stairwell going down into the basement.
And this kid is going to leave. We know the Nazis are there. We peeked and saw.
You do not know yet. You just walked in. But you're hearing some singing that is not Sylvie, and it is also not good.
Oh, if I heard anybody on that stage other than Sylvie, I'm poking my head out.
Yeah. Regina, can you peek your head out and take a look out there?
Oh, you look, and the bar is hopping, right? It is smoky, because everybody's smoking, right? It's smoky. Sure. You've got the band there, but it's oddly quiet at this one moment, as you see this bar is full of a very tense mix of people, right? You've got all of your regulars who are there. You've got your Parisians. And this is also a bit of an expat bar because it's sort of run by an expat. So you've got a lot of people from the UK, from England. You've got some German refugees who are more recent, who came in a little bit earlier, Poles, Spaniards. You've got like a kind of a general mix of an art crowd there. And in between all these folks, you've got a number of uniformed German soldiers.
How many do my eyes count?
You count 4 soldiers that are clearly on duty and a man in a hugely impressive uniform. And he's sort of standing and clapping for this woman that's on the stage who's young.
Do you see the woman on the stage who's not me? Do you see her?
Yeah.
That's all I want to ask.
You can see her, and you see that she is a bottle blonde. She's sort of thin. She is dressed really nicely.
Too nice for here?
Too nice for here. She's dressing to impress. Do you know what I mean? She's dressing to show off wealth.
Okay.
In a way that, I mean, your family is... You come from a family that knows fine things. It is your assessment as a person with your background that if she really were very wealthy, she would not be dressing like this, right? This is the kind of...
Oh, it's a front.
Right, this is the kind of display you do when you are not used to having fine things, right? It's a little too flashily... It's a little bit too ostentatious for someone.
She just got a credit card and she's maxed it out.
Yeah,
already.
basically.
Basically, yes.
I sling the curtain shut and pull my head back in, and I turn around and I block the doorway instantly. We are not going out there.
Oh, but I've been...
Shut your...
We're not-
Sit 9. I point at him. The bar is currently filled with soldiers of the
Well, that's
Nazi
the worst
sort.
thing we could possibly have right now.
They are...
What are we going to do with him? He's very flashy.
We still have a box.
You're right.
Just
Jules, what do you want to do?
We should. I think it would be a good idea to show these soldiers a good time. Maybe distract them while we hide the prisoner. Our guest.
yes,
Who's going to show them a good time?
not you.
Jules looks at Sylvie.
Sylvie's in the other room. She's out there.
Sylvie's already out there.
Oh, she's out there. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's out
she's
there
out
trying to
there
manage this
entertaining.
situation
Yeah.
by herself.
Look, if someone's going to need to sacrifice their charisma for this, then
I would no. I say 9,
No.
9.
he's going to go ahead and like getting his cufflinks ready, you know, that kind of thing. Starts buttoning up his shirt. He's not wearing a banana
chin.
shirt.
I reach out really fast and I grab him by the chin. And I look you in the face and I was like,
Regina.
I'm going to go on shift. I will speak with Sylvie. Currently, there is no issue.
Okay.
Or charismatic presence may cause an issue.
It does that sometimes. I'm
So
sorry.
stay here. Charm the American.
The hick.
I assume you're speaking all this in French, yeah?
Yes.
Oh, yes, for sure.
And he has no idea what you're saying, but
Great.
he's like, something's going on, but he has
Yeah.
no idea what's going because he does not speak French in
I
France.
did point directly at him and just like the hick.
Yes.
He's like, I think that actually translates.
Like, what does mean? My brother about it. Hick. Like I don't know any French, but yeah.
Yeah. I look at I look at Jules and you should keep an eye on the place.
Okay.
When is
I'll
it?
take a
Should
look
we
around.
do something where we know it's safe to come out and take
I
him
will
upstairs?
come and get you.
Okay.
Come get you. We just need to get the Germans out after they have a good time.
All right. Can you believe me a drink at a certain point? Because I am thirsty.
Yes,
I will pay for it. I'm just.
I don't know what y'all are talking about. Can I get a drink though?
I will You're going into storage. Guess what's in there?
What? Oh, no. Okay, I should not be drinking around that. Okay, I get you. Right here with you. Great to be a team, Regina. Once again.
I probably turned to Jules at some point and my eye is like twitching. Just looking for some solid help.
You know, Jules, we make a great team, me and Regina, and I'm glad that you're part of this team too.
It's a pleasure. I will go see if they have any guards around, what the situation is.
Right, I'll stay here with the hick.
And he just hears the word hick again, and he's like, "Are y'all talking about me?"
Yes.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
no.
We are. You are sore thumb. Big sign that says "kill me."
You know,
Bigger than me.
your English isn't very good.
If it is to sound anything like the words oozing from your lips, I shall pass.
You know the word oozing, that's good.
Regina's like, I'm going on shift. She reaches probably for a hook that's got like an apron or something on it. And she like rips it off, puts it on. If you come out, I will tie both of you up and leave you on the street.
And
Both of you don't come out. I say that in English.
And on the other side of the curtain,
No, always count on 10.
the German officer is clapping, and then the Nazis all clap too, and all of the people who are not German or who are not part of the occupying force are silent. And this man, Colonel Falke, he somebody Steph the Bard noted, she said, I imagine him looking like Kenneth Branagh on Swing Kids, and that is a very good description of him. So he's got that they got that sort of Kenneth Branagh look and sort of handsome, right? He's got that kind of like a handsome Aryan sort of poster boy look about him. And he sort of looks at the crowd for a moment, and then he looks at Sylvie with a bit of a question like, what kind of people do you have? He doesn't say it, but it's the question that says, what kind of people do you have in your bar? As he claps and seems disturbed that no one else is clapping.
So immediately, I very showily clap my hands.
I come out of a curtain and begin clapping my hands.
And I take the mic. I'm like, wow, that was such an experience. Wasn't that an experience, everyone? That was just something else, wasn't it? Yes, come on.
Jules whistle.
Yes, that was just really something like we've never experienced before. Oh my goodness. And before anything else can happen,
the rest of the crowd picks up your cue, right? And with you and with Jules and with Regina sort of cheering the crowd, they all start clapping, and the officer seems to feel a little bit more at ease. And she beams, right? This woman, Jeanette, on the stage, she beams as if this was like, she said she'd never performed before, for a professional job. And she has...
herself, perhaps. We don't know.
Don't.
I'll also add, as I have the mic, I think I can speak for all of us that we were rendered speechless by that stunning performance. So she's gonna Sylvie puts her arm around Jeanette and just like kind of just in all like speaking in lots of movement, just like ushers her like back down toward the officer, and she's like, you have really got something. You have really got something that is just uncontainable. Good sir, where did you find this lovely creature?
And as you take her off the stage, your band sort of picks up with sort of a lively foxtrot. And as the dance music is going, a couple of sort of couples here or there get up and they sort of move into the dance floor. And so the dance floor starts populating with dancing couples. So like a bit of a convivial spirit sort of brings itself up as as you begin to sort of chat. Now, Jules, actually, Tango, you've got a
dear
pilot.
God, don't put this on me.
Oh, I'm putting this on
It's
you.
on you.
You've got a pilot. There's some things happening in the front, but you've got a pilot in the back. It's like that song "Friday" by Rebecca Black, right? Nazis in the front seat, pilot in the back seat.
Mm-hmm.
Which one
That's
can
all
I take? Yeah. Friday.
So I'm surrounded by complete and utter terror right now. Yeah. Okay.
And he's there, and he's like, "So, you're gonna take me to a safe place, but you're gonna get me a beer, though?"
Eventually, if you behave yourself.
What?
What'd you say your name was again?
Bill Mustang Hickok. People call me Mustang.
We're not going to call you Mustang. No one will call you Mustang here. Here's what your new name is. Nothing. It's nothing. Right now, you need to be a shadow. You understand that? People's lives are at risk. And he's going to come in real close. He's going to be like, Mouse?
Yeah.
You love her, right?
Yeah.
I can tell. I know the look on your eyes. If you are not anything less than a shadow, her life is going to be in danger. Do you understand me?
Right.
So are you going to be a shadow?
Yeah. Hey, look.
Shadows don't talk. Okay. You're going to be able to talk right now. But then when I say shadows don't talk, you're going to go back to not talking. Okay. Go.
Okay. She told me that you'd make documents for me. Well,
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to make documents for you. We're going to get you out of here.
Okay.
Let you get home.
So, she's gonna take me the rest of the way, right? Like she's gonna pick me up, and I'm gonna be able to go the rest of the way to Spain and then to England with her, right?
Oh, buddy. Oh, my friend. I think it's best if you think about the long game. You know what I mean by the long game? Are you familiar with the long game?
I don't.
The long game here is that you get to keep your life, and she will get to keep her life. And are you confident she loves you back?
Well, I mean, I love her.
Right. Well, she does love you. She'll come find you, but I can't promise you she's the one who's going to take you out.
I'm not gonna leave without her.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
You're going to put everyone here at risk for that.
Look, I love her, and I'm gonna marry her. I haven't asked her yet, but I'm gonna. And I'm not gonna leave here without her. I mean,
wow. Well, you really should. Okay, here's something I learned. It's really important to let a woman know when you're about to assault her with commitment. You know what I mean?
No.
Of course you wouldn't, because you probably don't respect women. All right, listen.
I respect women. They're hot.
Oh, good Lord. I'm going to slap him with the backside of my hand.
He did not see that coming, and he looks like.
Okay. I'm sorry. I know. It's just a thing, a tick I have. Okay. Listen, we're going to get back to the conversation at hand. You're going to be a shadow. You're not going to put anyone's life at risk, especially the person you claim to love and you are about to marry. You understand that? Do you like being married to a dead woman?
No.
That's what would happen.
Hey, I protect her.
Oh, no, you haven't. In fact, you stuck out like a sore thumb back at that train station enough that it alerted the authorities, the Nazis. Do you like that?
No.
Look at yourself. Do you like that?
No.
Look yourself in the mental mirror. Do you like that?
No.
No, of course not. Here's what I want you to do. Put yourself in our shoes. We're trying to get you safely out of here. Now, outside of that, if you want to get safely out of here and put no one else's life at risk, then you're going to be a shadow. You're going to lay low for 2 days. We got 2 days, buddy. Mustang, are you with me, Mustang? Oh, I hate that. Oh,
Yeah. 2
Oh,
days.
I'm gonna speak in French. Like this fucking Mustang. Oh.
And he's like, right.
You with me?
Yep.
Let's do that American thing. We're gonna put our hands in, right? We're gonna put our hands in.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right, buddies.
Yep.
Are we buddies? Mustang buddies?
Buddies.
Buddies. And buddies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Woo!
No, whoa. No. Shadows don't talk.
Shadows definitely don't woo.
Shadows don't woo. We're not woo girls right now, okay?
All right. I assume you're taking him down to the safe house in the basement.
What now? I'm sorry.
I assume you're going to take him down to the basement.
Yeah, let me go and take him down to the basement now.
You go down the stairwell, right? And you've got this sort of big basement that is messy and dusty. In better times, it would be full of like barrels of beer and wine and alcohol. And at this point in time, you don't have much left, but you have a lot of set pieces, right? You've got like backdrops and set pieces and trunks of costumes from various times when sort of cabarets were taking place. And
is there a fancy hat?
Oh, there's a fancy hat.
I'm going to start wearing the fancy hat. Yeah. I'm just going to put that on. Is there a banana shirt in here at all?
Yes, there would be a banana shirt.
Then I am definitely going to put on this banana shirt.
My heart.
Yeah.
And
that is now I'm in character.
There is a false wall, right? There's like a false wall that's like it's like a large what do you call it? Like a costume trunk that sort of like goes to the ceiling of this sort of low thing. And if you move it to the side, in the back there's like another room, so you can put him in there. And it's not like super. It's like a chunk of this basement. So the basement is actually smaller than it looks smaller than it is. And so you could put him back there. And if somebody came into this sort of basement, they wouldn't see this sort of side room.
So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put him over there, but I'm also gonna look around. Is there enough makeup and just stuff? I'd like to dress him up. And at this point, dress him up like so many, or what is it when you have the boas, like feather boas, and big giant hats, and just a crap that if you just went so 1940s hard, you could almost never not even see their face.
Yes.
So I'm gonna put I'm gonna just like, this is for deception.
He's like, oh, okay.
You are no longer you, Bill. You are Billina.
Billina. All right.
Yes. And so if someone comes down, they will not recognize you as a mere American hick. Mustang hick. Hickhawk.
Yep.
Redneck.
I'm just from Montgomery.
Yeah, I know. I've been to Montgomery. Okay. I need to look up if Piggly Wiggly exists in 1940s, but I'm pretty sure it does. I've been to a Piggly Wiggly
Hickok.
Sorry, I keep shortening your last name. I don't know why.
Hey.
But listen, stay still. I'm going to make you a new woman.
Why?
Because in case somebody comes down here, we're going to need you in disguise. They're looking for an American man.
Right.
But you know what they're not looking for?
What?
A highly refined, beautiful woman.
All right. You think it's a good idea?
I am an artist, so you need to be quiet as I begin my master craft.
Oh, all right. And he sits there sort of slightly confused in this sort of like hidden back room as you boa him up. Just
feather boas and another one. You know what I mean? Just like a tilted cap with a veil over the front. Like one of those long stem things. And I'm just like, no, I'm just going to tape this to your freaking hands.
He's like, I don't understand.
Yeah, you don't understand right now. It's called deception. And I'm skilled in that.
Oh, all right. Hey.
It's the man in the banana shirt.
Says the man in the banana shirt.
By the way, thank you, chat. Piggly Wiggly certainly exists, so I'll be making all those references.
That's right.
True story. You can smoke into Piggly Wiggly in Alabama right now. So classy.
And as you were doing that, we are back up at the top of this nightclub, and the Nazi officer sort of snaps to Regina.
I put on a smile. First off, she wears her hair back when she's waitressing to try to just like not be the same person, because she speaks French when she waits tables, and so she goes over. You know what? I walk over. I see this whole like shindig go down. I walk over and with his snap, and I greet this blonde.
Mhm.
I don't know her, but I simply say, "Your performance was wonderful.
And she smiles. And as you
How
look
can
at
I help you?" And I look at them.
Oh,
Take their order.
and she smiles and she just looks at this man and he goes, she will have your best wine, white. Do you have champagne?
Do we have champagne? Unfortunately, the shipment did not arrive.
Well, your best white wine would be good. And for me, I will also have whatever your best is. Tell me. And he sort of, he speaks to you and he kind of looks at Sylvie, because Sylvie clearly seems to be more important in this place, but you work here, so he thinks he might get more honest information from you.
Okay.
Tell me, what sorts of people, and he sort of looks at the crowd a little bit, do you normally serve here at the spa?
Ooh. All right, I need to think through that one. We serve honest, paying, and cultured people.
He says, interesting. He looks at Sylvan and he goes, I have been told about you, madame. You are also a singer?
I have had my moments.
American?
Yes. I found the Europeans tend to be much more high class than the Americans.
This is true. But do you know any German songs?
In fact, I do. I know a couple.
Oh, well then, I would be very pleased if you would sing for us something German.
Why, I would be honored.
And also, Vive la Resistance, Sal, they give you one more fate point. And he says, good, because everyone knows that the German culture is the greatest culture in all of the world. We are a country of thinkers and artists and philosophers. We have the best culture there is, not like the sort of trash coming out of the United States. Before you say anything, dearest Fox, I do believe you have a trouble aspect.
I do.
Which is aggressively forward and can't hold your tongue.
That is correct.
I would posit, and if people want to see, we have our aspects for the scene. I would posit that you are not going to be able to let this go. And you're going to have to say something that will get you in a lot of trouble and make this scene a lot worse. And if you would not like that to happen, if you do say something awful, I will give you, that makes everything really bad for you, I will give you a fate point. If you do not want to do that, you'll have to give me one.
Let's see what happens.
Oh, no!
So you have your choice. You can take a fate point as a bribe from me to make this situation much, much worse for you, or you can pay me a fate point and then you don't have to. You can hold your tongue.
We are swimming in fate points. There are so many fate points.
I'm not known to hold my tongue. I don't do that sort of thing. That's not really a me sort of thing to do.
In which case, please go ahead.
So give it to me again. He was saying something.
He says,
about...
yes, I would love it if you would sing some good German music, because we Germans are the height of culture with Goethe, with Schiller. We are Beethoven. We make the best art, not like the trash coming out of Americans this moment.
That's so interesting. It seems like if you were the absolute best of everything, you wouldn't be having to mow everyone else down.
Regina, you hear this.
No! Okay.
And his face drops. He had this very sort of pleasant demeanor, and when she says that, his face drops, and there is
I said it politely.
a look in his eye that is, how do I put this? He seemed very friendly. He seemed like he was enjoying himself, and when she says that, when this American woman said that to him, there is a coldness that sort of creeps into his eyes, and the mood gets a little tense. And Jules, you notice with his sort of change of demeanor that the soldiers, the guards that are sort of peppered throughout the room, they just get a little bit tense as well.
Okay.
She hasn't forgotten that she had somebody close to her taken away, and she's not really thrilled about it.
Mm-hmm.
Regina starts to laugh. I look at you with that look of like, do not do this to us. I say in French, very funny. She is not just singer, but aspiring comedian.
It's true. Perhaps I've had too much of this fine wine. What German song would you like to hear? Anything at all, I'll do for you.
He stands up and he says, I don't appreciate this sort of talk. I don't think I want anything from you at all. I thought perhaps this was a place where we could be, that we could be friendly, but it seems as if this is not a friendly place. Jeanette? And he snaps his finger at her. She looks disappointed. And
A finger snapper.
And he gets up and he starts walking out, and the guards sort of stand up and they start walking out. And one of them tips over a chair.
Really? That's the best he can do.
Do you say that out loud?
I will hold on to this until after he leaves, but then I will say, really, that's the best he can do is tip over a chair.
And he just gives you this, like, he doesn't hear that because you say it after he leaves, but as he's like stepping out, he looks back at this bar, and there's not a good, it's a dark look. It is a dark look, and he looks back at this bar.
Do I see him look back?
Oh, you do.
Wait, is it just a soldier looking back who tipped over the chair, or is it the
It's the officer. The head of German intelligence gives this dark look at this club.
I respond with this.
I smile. Bigger than that.
And these German soldiers leave your club as you mock them.
No!
No.
I'm genuine.
No, not you. Not you. Not you, my friend. And it's a weird vibe.
So Jules is privy to this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
Sylvie throws her hands up and goes to the bar and asks Charlie to pour her something extra strong for the evening.
I slap my dishcloth down when you cross to the bar. I run as fast as I can to the back and grab a fresh bottle of our best wine.
Is there another singer around? Maybe.
No, you've got the band playing.
You're now silent.
You have the band playing, but there's not another singer.
The crowd? No.
Oh, another singer in the crowd. I run to the back. I grab a bottle. I want to cut them off on their way out with a fresh, unopened bottle.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You grab the best bottle, and please note, you don't have much left, right? Because this is rationing. You don't have a lot. You've got a bottle, and you're going to rush out. Jules, what are you going to do in this moment where we've got Sylvie up at the bar with your bartender Charlie, who's giving you some, like, it's strong, it's not great, passing her along a drink. You've got people, sort of the dance floor sort of stopped. It's a little awkward about what is going to happen now.
I'm going to look at the musicians, run over to the musicians, and get them to start playing something that the Germans really, really, really like. And I'm trying to think of what they really like, but something
Like maybe a little
something they
Marlene
could not
Dietrich.
resist.
Yeah.
If it was Beethoven number 9,
Yeah.
but it's not a symphony, so
Yeah.
but
But most of these,
I tell them, like,
yeah.
please just play something
German.
German that they'll really, really like. They're going to close the bar.
And they do a version of Beethoven's Ninth, but kind of a jazzed up version of it, right? Like, because this is Europe in the 1940s, which means most
Right.
jazz musicians are actually classical musicians who think that jazz might be really fun.
Right.
Right, so they're kind of doing a jazzed up version of Beethoven's Ninth as Sylvie's at the bar getting some rock
And I
alcohol.
try to get the crowd into it, so they can give a show of appreciation for German culture. Allez!
And they're like
Everybody dancing.
right, they're trying, like they're like, oh, and it's a little bit awkward.
Yeah, he's not the most suave guy, Jules, but he's trying.
And right outside of the bar, as this man and his girlfriend are about to sort of like get in their vehicle, and they've got these soldiers. Regina comes out with this bottle.
I say, Madame, as I kind of wave her down to get in, and then I'll talk to him.
And she looks disappointed, like she's sad. And she looks at you.
I don't want to get too close because I don't want to rush up on them.
Yeah.
They got a lot of cards. But I hold the bottle forward. And I kind of present it to her. And do I want to speak German to them? I don't. I will speak French. I have to keep my cover. I will speak French. And Regina says, I am so sorry. It has been a difficult time. Your entertainment tonight was a pleasant addition. My eye might twitch. And then I look to him. And I simply say, I'm sorry we have offended you. We try to run a proper business, and
I'm gonna need a rapport from you.
fuck, I don't think I have that.
Mhm.
I don't have a rapport.
Nope. And you are currently not a good German.
I am not a good German.
Mhm.
Damn it. Okay,
Mhm.
that's okay.
Here's one of our many coaches if you'd like.
Okay.
If you will,
I got one. I got one for you.
would you like me to roll my empathy first?
Oh, okay, yeah.
If you want to know what it is that he's going to be peeping you at.
Yeah, we'll peep away.
So
Peep.
he rolls a -1, but he's got an empathy of 3 because what he does is interrogate people, so he's actually quite good at that. So that's
Right.
that's a 2 from him.
Cool.
You want to beat a 2.
Gotta beat a 2. Gotta beat that 2. So I'm gonna spend a fate point. My fate point. I would like to activate humanity of all is more important than country in this moment. They are part of the all, even though they are shitheads and awful Germans. And as long as it is for the betterment of all, which includes this bar and this poor god woman that is just attached to his side. That's what I'm gonna do. And I will. I'll look at him and I'll say, truly, sorry.
Can I run out,
Yeah.
Trooper?
Yeah.
Jules is going to run out. He's going to grab a pen and a napkin. I'll run to the car, to the madame, and very respectfully, averting his gaze a bit, because he's aware he's a black man in Paris. And he will hand the woman the pen and the napkin and say, "Madame, your autograph, your singing was so beautiful."
Oh. And she takes it and she starts writing. And so she seems to be, she's a little flattered. I would like a rapport from you.
Okay.
I never rolled mine. Did I get away with not having to?
Oh, no, you're going to have to roll it, my
Dang
friend.
it.
Rapport, I don't even have. So I'm just going to roll the die.
Yeah, it's 40F. -2. So,
boy.
well, let me roll for her.
By mistake.
Let me roll for her before you decide if you want to. Before you go, there is an aspect on her.
Huh?
Oh yeah. First off,
Reckless protector. I don't know.
Yes. Maybe. First off, there is a boost on her.
Or smuggler.
Oh, is there?
She has a boost on her. She's flattered by Sylvie with one free invoke. You could invoke that flattered by Sylvie on her to give yourself a +2.
Yes, and my boss told me you're such a great singer, and now I heard you, and I'm amazed.
That's going to bring you up to a 0, and she's at a -1 because she doesn't have a lot of empathy, as it turns out. So she's not particularly good at seeing through ruses. She's a little bit gullible, shall we say. And she is a little impressed. She feels a little. She's like, oh, and then
you have a great future in this city, madame. You must come play here again. The people won't stop talking about you.
And she puts her hand on this German officer's sort of forearm, in a way to sort of, in a way to try to influence him. She doesn't say anything, but she's trying to influence him positively, towards you, Regina, because Regina is
trying to convince him now.
Is trying to convince him, and that boost, by the way, goes away because you used it once and it is gone.
Aww.
But it was good use of it.
And what I would say, I think what you were trying to do, this is how I'm going to interpret what you did, JF, is that there's a move you can do. There are 4 actions you can do in Fate. You can attack or defend, which this was not. Overcome, which is where there's a challenge you're trying to get over. But I don't think that's what you're doing. I think you were trying to create an advantage, right? And so creating advantage will sort of create some kind of aspect on a person. So I think with a free invoke on it, and it is a sort of a permanent aspect because you succeeded. So I think you gave her an aspect which is, I think it is positively, let's see, we'll call it something like she is invested in the bar.
She has an interest in us.
Yes.
Which is both a good and a bad thing.
That she's.
There are many great artists that come here. If you come sing more often, they will notice you.
So now that is a permanent. Oh, I should put that. That is on our Jeanette. That is a permanent aspect on her that she is invested in the bar, and you have 1 free invoke. But this is on her character sheet now. Basically, as long as until someone takes it off of her in some way.
Right. Okay.
So that you can always spend fate points on that as well to sort of use that. And so she puts her hand on his forearm in a way.
And and as she kind of tries to physically lure him in, I say, "See, I know that we were rude, but you brought such great culture with you." And I gesture obviously to the woman and the song. It has been a long time since we have had somebody of your stature there. You elevate this place. Thank you for dropping by this evening. A gift. And I present her with the bottle.
She takes it. She is so excited by this. And when she looks at this bottle, she looks at it and her eyes go wide as if she herself has not seen anything this nice. Maybe ever.
I'm gonna be in trouble for that one.
And she like hugs it to her. She's so, and like she's got this and she's hugging this bottle of fine wine, and she hands you her autographed Jules, and she is just,
oh, merci madame,
beaming, right? Like as if she has never been that appreciated before in her life for something other than her looks. And she's so excited. And I need you to roll that rapport, my friend. You
I
have
know.
not rolled it.
Okay, so I used a fate point, so that does what? That gives me...
You have a choice about getting a +2 or re-rolling your dice when you roll them.
Okay, let me roll it first.
Because he's at a 2, by the way.
Okay, yeah! I take the +2, making it a 3.
Nice.
I did it! Wow, that's a lot of zeros.
That is a lot of zeros. He looks at you with some suspicion. You don't think he's going to buy it. And then she has her hand on his forearm, and she just gives him this little squeeze. And then he's looking at you. He's looking at you, Jules, and he seems a little perturbed at how close you're standing to her.
He's going to step back a bit, realizing that. Cautiously.
And he looks at Regina, and he says, Mademoiselle, take a walk with me.
Okay. I said, we.
And he looks at one of his guards and he says, watch that one. Like indicating you, because he's going to leave his girlfriend alone at this car and you'll be there. And he just wants to make sure that no funny business happens as he walks away with Regina. And he puts out his arm to Regina.
Okay, I guess I'm going to take it.
And he just walks you a little bit away from the rest so that they cannot hear you. And Jeanette is looking quite concerned about, like, what is this?
As we kind of step away, say, is there something wrong?
Mademoiselle, I appreciate your... And he's handsome and he's wearing a nice cologne. It's French. It's expensive. I appreciate your words. There are so few French who really understand the value of the German culture. It is commendable. I am, to be honest, I was concerned about the company of this place, the sort of people who stay there, the element that might come in and out of this cabaret. It was worrisome. But
well, no, I don't interrupt him. If he continues straight in, I do not interrupt him.
But you seem to indicate that there are some people at this place who appreciate friendship.
We?
Do you appreciate friendship?
I would say it is a trying time. In a trying time, friends are necessary.
You know, perhaps I could have a small thing for you to think about. My mistress, Jeanette, has a lot of dreams. And it seems to me unfortunate that a club like this has some sort of American singing, someone who's not even white, not Aryan. Then Jeanette is a beautiful, talented Aryan singer.
Yes, we. And I look over and nod very much so.
Don't you think that it would be better for your establishment if Jeanette were perhaps permanently given a position at your club to sing there regularly? Especially considering this woman seems so disrespectful to friendship.
I am flattered, I say, that you think that I hold a position to make such a call.
And he just pats your hand around his arm.
Oy. I feel slimy on the inside. She says, but I am friends with the owner. So I will speak with her.
And perhaps one more thing, mademoiselle. What may I call you?
Regina.
Regina. What is your last name?
Berger.
Berger. Oh, it sounds like a good name.
Good French name, I say.
Mademoiselle Berger. He smiles at you, and I don't know if you know that good old song "Mac the Knife" from Kurt Weill.
Yes.
And his smile, his teeth are pearly white like the shark, and he says, "You know, in these times, one never knows who one can trust. Don't you think this is true?"
You are wise.
I would like to think that perhaps I might be able to trust you. So,
Oh, God.
mademoiselle, it would be wonderful for me if you might keep... you are a waitress. You, as waitress, you see all the people who come in and come out of this bar, and you hear what they're talking about. I would be very happy if you might be... if you might share with me any interesting conversations, or if there are peoples who come to this bar who are perhaps not as committed to friendship between the Germans and the French as they should be. My understanding is that all sorts of foreigners come to this bar here and then, and there are people who are harmful to friendship, people who might be seditious or traitors or causing everyone's life to be a little bit more difficult. And if you might share with me any informations, then I'm sure that I can make sure this bar stays open and well-stocked and safe.
Flattery. I smile. This is a generous offer, specifically regarding supplies. It is easier for friends to talk when they are... Their glass is full. Regina says, I will do my best.
Good. I'm glad to see someone in this bar is reasonable. So, I will make sure that Jeanette can come back in this place, and we'll have a place to sing. And
he's already decided that's happening.
oh yes, he has. And all of the information you can get to me about anything you might hear on the streets, I will reward you for it.
She says, friendship does not require a reward. Under her breath.
Good. Mademoiselle, I have your name. And he reaches into the inside of his pocket and he pulls out a business card and he hands it to you. And I just want you to know that everyone who's on the street right now sees him hand you this business card and sees you with him.
Right, and I'm sure they see me take it.
And they see you take it. And he says, I mean, he's trying to be somewhat subtle, but also not too subtle.
But he's a very high-profile Nazi officer on the street outside of our pub.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Or our bar. Yeah.
Yeah. And he gives it to you and he says, I'm staying at, and he names this hotel that he's taken over. You can always come and see me, but if seeing me in this hotel is too unsubtle for you, we can always make sure we can find more subtle places to meet. But
To avoid that conversation, she says, I'm sure you'll come to watch her on our stage.
of course, I will be back. But I'm hoping that more friendly people will be on stage more often.
Do the best we can.
And he walks you back to where Jeanette is with Jules.
I make eyes at Jules like, I swear to God, if we do not get out of here, I'm going to smash his head into the store.
And she says, and she sort of like takes his arm back from you, a little concerned. And she says, Jeanette says, please, Helmut, we have that party to go to tomorrow night, and I want to be ready for it. Do you think I'll be able to sing there tomorrow night? And he says, it's this party with all of the people who will be there? Of course not. And she looks a little sad as he says this, as if the idea that she would sing at this party tomorrow night would be so ridiculous.
I say, do not worry, mademoiselle. Your chance in the spotlight is coming.
And she smiles. And he opens the door for her. And she gets inside. And she's like, Helmut, will everyone be at this party tomorrow night? And he's like, yes, yes. And I get to be there? Yes, yes. And he gets into the car, and his guards sort of file in. And they take off, leaving you two in the street.
I'm going to check the license plate.
Uh-huh.
Memorize it.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, on the inside, I imagine Tango has come up from the basement.
Oh, no.
By now, since you have...
Oh, in my banana shirt?
Since you've kept your charge sort of basically locked up, right?
He's down there. He's in the basement. So.
He can't really get out, right? Because you put this big sort of clothes locker in front of the door, so he can't get out.
And he's dressed like a woman, which I love right now.
Really, just like a bunch of boas is what he's dressed.
A bunch of feather boas.
Feather boas. And you come up, and when you come up, it's the scene's a little bit weird. The band is playing with a slightly manic energy to it. People are dancing, and Sylvie is at the bar with Charlie, the bartender. And
also, just as an aside, as soon as they left, I had the band play something different.
The band immediately goes back
and extra loud too, right?
Extra loud. Some kind of really awesome. Like I imagine at this point in time they're probably playing like When the Saints Go Marching In, like a really good hot jazz number. And tell me, what does Sylvie look like as she is as she's there at the bar? What is her vibe? What does Tango see? This is what you see, my dearest Tango.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't see the Nazis anymore, right?
No, they're gone.
Oh well, that was what I was supposed to do. Keep cool. Keep behind closed curtains until some Nazis were gone. Well, they're gone. So he's gonna walk out in his banana shirt. And if a waitress is coming by,
there's no waitress. Regina's not here either.
Right. So there is no wait. Okay. So I'm going to go up to the bar.
And Jules is not here either. Jules and Regina are not here. Jules is the bouncer. Regina's the wait staff. And they are not here. It's a weird mood.
All right. So as cool and calm as I can, I'm going to walk up to Savina, and I'm going to kind of look like just sit on my elbows and look over at the bartender and be like, whiskey, please. They don't have any?
She smiles for a moment and she goes under the bar, and there's like clinking of some sounds, and she brings up a glass of whiskey and she slides it across to you.
Thank you, madam.
And she says to you in English, she says, honey, we have not had whiskey in I don't know how long.
What the hell am I about to drink?
Enjoy.
I probably will. And cheers to you, and hope you make all the money tonight.
Hmm.
And a few smiles.
You're gonna have to roll a Constitution save. No, different rule set.
Different game.
Different game.
Let me break out my D&D version of Tango. The Bard.
It's not great. It's not great.
Yeah. But I'm right there next to Sylvie. And I'm gonna just look over at her and be like, "Where are they at?
Gone for now.
Are we worried?"
Well, Regina and Jules certainly were.
Should I do something?
No, I think they've done enough.
Okay. What if we should I take our friend down in the basement? You know we have a friend in the basement, right? You don't know that. Oh, we have a friend in the basement.
Of the four-legged variety, I'm hoping?
No, we have an American smuggled. We're going to have to keep him here for 2 days.
Okay. Is he good looking?
Oh God, I don't know how to deal with that. No, he wants to call himself Mustang. Do you want any man who calls himself Mustang?
Ugh.
You think that looks good on anything?
Revoke my question.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, gross. He's just going to
He pretty much just like takes a huge one of these, just
yeah. At the same time, I'm going to do the same thing with the whiskey and just.
I'm sorry I asked.
Slant it down. No, it's fine. I'm not a fan. Anyways, we might have a problem with him. He's a bit in love with the person who's smuggling him out and refuses to leave unless she follows or he marries her.
Just hire a prostitute or something.
That's what you know what? I'm gonna noodle that back. That's a thought.
I mean, if he falls in love with the first busty thing that walks around him, clearly.
I'm pretty sure this is the first busty thing that followed him around. So we just give him another busty thing. And we're just like, ooh, look at this one.
And then he'll be fine.
He'll be okay. You're right. That's the way love works. The next busty thing.
Besides, if we knock him out, then he can't complain. And we can just unload him and send him on his way.
We'll keep that on the back burner as an option if he doesn't play nice.
Listen, I do have some sources for some compounds that will knock a person and render them unconscious for at least a good 12 hours.
So I heard some wild bird on stage, and by that I mean something that sounded like it was dying, and it was could you have done that to that person or thing? What was it? What was going on there?
Well, I didn't feel like getting shot tonight, so apparently it was some sort of plaything of a higher up Nazi official or something like that.
Plaything.
I don't know. I came across her in the food line this morning. She had a lot of ration cards. She thought a man with one leg tripped her. I don't know how it could have happened.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's obviously a moron. I don't know.
It happens.
It happens. Morons happen. You're right. Look, so...
Does he need food?
Oh, I didn't even ask if he was hungry. I just don't know if you feed them or not. I don't know what you do with stowaways.
Oh my God.
I've only smuggled art and books.
On the floor? What do we need to do with him?
I don't know. I dressed him up in a bunch of fedora or a bunch of stage outfits. I was going to just
those are my stage outfits.
Well, and they look amazing. I mean,
do you know
not
how
on him.
Expensive those boas are?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Do you know how expensive our lives are if Nazis come down? Like, oh, who is this? And then you know what happens? They look at him and they go, oh, there's an American. Shoot the American. Shoot me. Shoot everyone else in here.
So now he looks like an American with all of my expensive boas on.
No, he doesn't. He looks magnificent. Because
they
I
are
dressed
magnificent
him.
boas.
Exactly.
This is about the time when Jules and Regina come back in the bar.
So,
why were there Nazis in the bar?
Why
Why
were
did
they?
you go after them when they left the bar, which is where we wanted them in the first place?
Because you turned us into a target.
And you want them to come back.
Sylvie, merde.
I want them to leave us alone.
And are they going to leave us alone now?
No.
No. But
You
we
mean-
said we had to work right under their noses.
I
So let's-
believe Tango sings.
Sorry.
The woman. She's easy. And she has sway over him.
Well, that could be useful.
Yes. I want you to be her friend.
I think we're both going to need another drink. Excuse me. Can I get another of this mystery whiskey?
Cafe. I put my hand up. I know we have coffee in this place. I know somebody said that there was a bag of coffee that came in this place.
And Charlie leans over to you, and you know her well. You have worked here for a while. I mean, most of you know Charlie. Not you, Tango. You're new, but you're getting to know her. You've only been here a day.
I'm the one with the coffee. So
Yeah.
that's fine.
And she leans over to you and she says, Regina, and she's, her French is pretty good, right? Like she's accented, but she says, if I bring out the coffee right here, everyone's gonna want some.
Fine. When they're gone, I make it that long.
She's like, so bathtub whiskey it is. And she pours you a glass, and she's like,
Do we have any vodka?
Jules, would you like wine?
I would prefer wine. And
And she knows what you like.
Hand the autograph to Sylvie.
Mm-hmm.
Look at her in the eyes and say, Sylvie, this woman will be a ticket to the commander of intelligence. Do you understand? This is very important.
She wipes her mouth with it and puts it on the table. So, how did Nazi ass taste?
I flip a card out and I was like, exactly like you'd expect it to.
Julie.
So, how easy do you think it's going to be to transport goods under their fucking noses?
Keep your
Magic
enemies
ma-
close.
That's right. You said so yourself.
Listen,
They'll have no idea if we play along.
I'm on board. I trust our team, and that's fine. Besides, things can't. Well, they can only go so poorly. But let me at least say this. Don't ever change my band's music or give away my personal stock of wine again.
I know, I'm sorry.
That goes for both of you. I'm still the owner of this bar, and I'm still in charge of paying both of your wages and making sure that the Nazis don't come and scoop you away to their job camps. Never touch my band or my personal wine again.
Then take it out of my paycheck and recognize that you put a target on all of us when you insulted a Nazi officer in the middle of this bar. Every person in here was in danger.
Ugh. Well, he shouldn't have been so unfortunate with his face.
Yes, it is an unfortunate face, and I would love to claw it alive. But we can't do that until the setup is perfect.
I hear what you're saying, and I'll accept your apology. Anyway, I suppose that we will have to figure out what to do at this point. And it's not that I don't appreciate the boot licks that you had to take. But I guess we'll have to figure out what to do from this point. Ugh.
We have a very loud American in the basement. Please tell me
Yes.
you tied him up and didn't just leave him.
No, I tied him up in
I want to
really
go
nice.
check on that guy.
Yes,
in
please.
really
I
nice.
want to go check on that guy right now.
He's wearing Regina, he's wearing all of my boas. You know how
All of the boas.
Yes, but he is in love. He will
is in
escape.
love. Exactly. Listen, a little bit later when it dies down, we really need to sit down and make a plan, a formal one. We have a lot of
Hmm.
loose threads here
And a full bar.
and a full bar.
So
Can
I'm
I
going
see
to-
that autograph, by the way,
Ay.
Jules?
Oh, I put here.
Let's see. I'm going to see if there's a bit of the autograph that I can actually use.
Mm-hmm.
Like with my trade craft or whatever. If
Yep.
I ever wanted to duplicate her on
Yes.
her signing something again.
Mm-hmm.
You see,
Yep.
we
You
could
have
we might
committed.
be able to use this. Yeah, I'm committed to memory.
Smart.
We might be able to actually use this somehow. I don't know how yet, but I do know that these things can come in handy. The other thing is, yes, we have a very loud American, louder than me. Oh my goodness. And he's wants to be called Mustang.
No, absolutely not over my dead body.
Well,
That's
for what it's worth,
we'll
Fox,
lose this war if we have to call him Mustang.
We will call.
She could. I feel bad for her.
Wait, which one? The one he's in love with, or the German's woman?
No,
Because I feel bad for both
feelings
of
about
them.
her. Well, I do feel bad for her, but she's her own woman. She's doing her own thing. But this other gal, she seems to just lead a sheltered life and want recognition and to have her own thing going. I think we could probably I don't know. I think she could probably flourish under my tutelage.
I actually believe that to be the truth.
I'm worried that Mustang is going to propose to Mouse, and it just gets right under my skin because they don't have an open communication that I approve of.
I don't.
They really need to talk more. I just don't believe it's right that a man just tries to just thrust his
Why is he in love with the
commitments and
mouse?
no Mouse. You know what? We have a
Have
lot
you
to
not
talk
met
about.
the boy?
No,
He is a
I just heard
boy.
he's wearing all of my undergarments.
Outer garments, thank you. The undergarments were
I'd
safe.
like to place a bet.
Why are you touching my garments, outer or under?
I take a little bit of money out and I put it on the table.
It's nice garments. I'm sorry, but I like the texture.
garments. I've lived in Paris for 10 years.
I take a bet.
It
She
is
goes
perfect
down.
garments,
Oh.
madam.
She goes down.
I bet he's stinky. I bet he's gonna put stinky all over my boat.
He falls in
It
love
can
with
be
her
washed.
and forgets about Mouse and does exactly what she tells him to. And I slide some coin across the table. Anybody else want to take the bet?
Wait, who are we getting him to fall in love with? This I'm interested in.
Well, you, of course.
Oh, yes, I could do that.
Oh
I'll
no.
take that bet.
Oh, this is going to be painful to watch.
And at this moment, Jules has sort of stepped away, finished his drink, and he's gone down to the basement to check in on our flyer. And
Uh-oh.
he makes his way down these stairs.
Oh, no.
And when he gets there, right? So you've got basically the basement. You come down the staircase. There's this sort of large basement with all this stuff, and there's that big locker, and behind the wardrobe, and behind the wardrobe is this sort of extra room, and the flyer should be in that extra room. But when you walk down into the basement, Jules, before you can get to where the wall locker is, you see that the basement is not empty. When you walk down into that basement, down there in the basement, you see 5 people. You see a man, an older woman,
I'm in so much trouble.
another woman, and then you see 2 children. And they are in your basement, and they look up at you with fear.
Why?
And that's when we're going to go to break.
Damn it.
It is break time, everyone.
Just tied him up and put him in the box.
Oh, he's in the side room. He's there. He's not out front. There are some strangers in your basement.
Why?
Waltzed in?
There are some strangers in your basement, and Jules, that is something for you to hang out with. However, that's for after break.
That's a normal Friday
Mousetraps?
night anyways, I think, really.
So, everyone, it is break time. But before we go to break, I want to give some thanks to our to some of our supporters. So first off, I would like to give some thanks to Sphinx Ral, who followed. Thank you. Also, we have some cheers from Sphinx Ral, also MMK Star, and also Rissa has given cheer with a message, and that message is Regina is my spirit animal. You are the patronus of our Rissa. And also thank you In123 for the follow. We're gonna go on a short break. While the break is happening, I have for you some actual radio broadcasts from May of 1941, so you can listen to them while we're on break. Also, hydrate, stretch your legs, and we're going to go and do the same and, do a bio break if you need it, and we will be back in like 5 to 10 minutes, and we're going to find out who these people are, and what they're doing in the basement. Take care of yourselves. We'll be back in 5 to 10.
From the studios of WTHT, the broadcasting division of the Hartford Times in Hartford, Connecticut, the Mutual Network presents Cedric Foster in a news analysis of today's developments in the European war. Cedric Foster.
The news out of Europe today is that the largest squadron of British bombing planes ever to raid Adolf Hitler's Third Reich struck terrific blows at Hamburg and Bremen last night, while Berlin and Emden were assaulted in what the British Air Ministry termed subsidiary attacks. The official communique from London did not give the number of planes involved in the raids, but there were estimates made today in the British capital that between 300 and 400 bombers and protecting fighters swung into action in the German skies. And probably the best way to describe what happened during this large-scale British attack is to quote for you directly the statement issued by the Air Ministry in London today. And this statement declares, more aircraft of the Bomber Command than ever before on a single night, with incendiaries to be counted in the tens of thousands and high explosives in hundreds of tons, covered Hamburg and Bremen with fires and smoke last night. Buildings were rent and smashed, and Germany's submarine and shipbuilding yards were remorselessly bombarded and left with fires blazing in their midst. The moon and the weather favored the attack, and though it was claimed by the Germans this morning that their defenses dispersed the attack, our aircraft were, in fact, prevented neither by night fighters nor anti-aircraft barrage from streaming over both cities in a constant procession and discharging their whole load on appointed targets. Pilots' individual reports speak of areas a mass of flame in which it was impossible to distinguish separate fire, of terrible explosions and smoke rising to 10,000 feet, and of our most powerful bombs dropped into the heart of the raging fires. That is the end of the official communique. In Britain today, there was an immediate reaction to this gigantic raid on German cities. It was interpreted in authoritative quarters to mean that the island fortress in the North Sea is now able to carry out heavy assaults on Nazi cities because of a gradual fulfillment of Mr. Churchill's prediction of last year. Many of you may remember his 4th of June speech, transmitted to the world on shortwave radio one Sunday afternoon, when the outlook was pretty grim and dark concerning Britain's ability to survive. France was almost under the heel of the conqueror. The Low Countries had been laid in waste, and the democratic world wasn't very optimistic as it looked toward the future. And it was at this time that Mr. Churchill chose to address his nation and empire, and the world will certainly never forget the peroration of that speech. It ranks with the greatest compositions of all time, and because it exemplifies the courage and the determination of the leader of the British Commonwealth of Nations, because through it, he rallied his countrymen to their standard at a time when even the bravest and stoutest of hearts were weakening under the terrible strain of one disaster after another. I repeat his closing remarks to you now. We shall go on to the end. We shall fight on the seas and the oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence of strength in the air. We shall fight on beaches. We shall fight on landing grounds. We shall fight in fields, streets, and hills. We shall never surrender. And even if, which I do not for a moment believe, this island or a large part of it is subjugated and starving, then our empire beyond the seas, armed and guarded by the British fleet, will carry on the struggle until in God's good time, the new world, with all of its power and its might, steps forth to the liberation and the rescue of the old. That was the statement of the British Prime Minister almost a year ago, and the words that he uttered have come to pass. His people are still fighting, and his island home has yet to be subjugated or starving. And the battle in the skies, carried on as he said that it would be, with growing confidence of strength in the air, is now being carried with increased power away from the shores of Britain to the homes and the industrial centers of the enemy. And there is not the slightest question that Britain has been enabled to do this because of the planes and the war material which she's received from the arsenals of the United States of America. And the Air Ministry didn't give too many details of the assault last night on Germany, but in addition to Hamburg, Bremen, Emden, and Berlin, there were other cities attacked which weren't named in northwestern Germany. Germany today admitted the severity of the attack. The Nazis stated that no bombs were dropped on their capital city of Berlin, but they declared that many civilians were killed in Bremen and Hamburg and other northwestern towns. At Hamburg and Bremen, the Nazis admitted what they termed some industrial damage, but they asserted that the residential sections of the two cities were the worst sufferers from the raid. While the Royal Air Force strafed Germany, the Nazis were causing havoc in the British Isles once more last night, particularly at the city of Hull on the northeast coast of England. Germany said that the entire city was clouded in smoke and ringed with fire, and this was the second successive night that the Germans have struck at this seaport, and the report from Berlin regarding the damage done is correct, because the British admitted last night that the city was badly hurt. Scores of business blocks had been demolished as well as homes, and the Germans used bombs of tremendous power. One explosive, according to British reports, dropped in the center of a residential street, and the force of the explosion was so great that it leveled every house in a city block. The German report of last night's raid on Hull quoted Nazi flyers as declaring that the flames from the burning seaport could be seen a distance of 70 miles. In discussing the British attack on Germany last night, the Nazis said that British planes roared on past Berlin to dip their wings over German-occupied Poland at the city of Posen. And this flight is the longest, or one of the longest, ever made by British bombers, because in order to reach that section of Poland and return to Britain, the RAF pilots had to guide their planes for more than 1,200 miles. In the Middle East today, Britain announced that she'd virtually completed the destruction of the Iraqi Air Force by direct hits on planes which were on the ground at 2 Iraqi landing fields. At the same time, it was announced that whatever troops the Iraqi army had used in the assault on the British airfield at Lake Habbaniyah, these had been withdrawn to the towns of Ramadi and Fallujah. And this withdrawal, of course, was under fire. The Iraqis have steadfastly refused to accede to the British demands that they cease their attack on Habbaniyah. Cairo reports in connection with the campaign in Iraq that the British transported by heavy air howitzers from Egypt, or they transported heavy air howitzers from Egypt, and with these they routed the native troops of Rashid Ali. And the pursuit of these troops, according to Cairo, is now going on north and northeast of the Habbaniyah airport. And when the Iraqis abandoned their positions, the British said, they left large stores of war material which the Empire forces are now salvaging. In the vicinity of Basra, down on the Persian Gulf, quiet prevailed, according to the Cairo communique, while on the North African front at both Tobruk and Saloum, heavy sandstorms prevented the British and the British enemies from swinging into action. In the Western Mediterranean yesterday, the Italians said this morning that there was a heavy engagement between fascist planes and units of the British fleet which were guarding a large Allied convoy. Rome claims that 16 British planes were lost in the battle, and that in addition to this, torpedoes and bombs struck an aircraft carrier, 2 cruisers, a destroyer, and 3 merchantmen as Italian aircraft roared to the attack. The battle, according to Rome, started late yesterday afternoon, and it went on into the hours of darkness. Rome declared that 5 Italian planes were lost. The Italians didn't say that any British ships had been sunk, but they stated that repeated hits were made on the naval vessels which were escorting the merchantmen. The British have yet to make any report on this engagement. The Admiralty in London, however, did send out cheering news to its fighting forces today when it reported the destruction of a German raider which was operating in the Indian Ocean. The ship was believed to have been the transatlantic liner Hansa, with a registry of more than 21,000 tons. The Admiralty's report of the battle, which gave but a few details, said that the British cruiser Cornwall took 27 British merchantmen seamen from the raider, where they had been held as prisoners by the Nazis. And in addition to these men, 53 members of the raider's crew were also picked up by the Cornwall. What happened to the others hasn't been...
And we are back, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. I hope you're all doing well, everybody in the audience. I hope everything is happening well for you. Cultrix says jaunty toothpick. I need a jaunty toothpick.
Literally what I just saw as well. I was like, I want to use jaunty way more.
I do. I want to give a big shout out to Void Smoker, who donated $20 supplies from London, which our cast will be sent on to them. So thank you. And also we just got some bits from PH, who just finished jamming a one-shot on my way to bed, but wanted to drop some love into the stream. Y'all look great. Thank you, PH.
Thank you.
If you all don't know, everybody who's here, we have a Discord. The Academic Foxhole has a Discord, and we have a channel for this show. And PH went and made a video of a character for this universe who's a Dutch reporter, and it's an amazing monologue that he did. And you should all go and see it. It's really, really good. And so please go see it. And I think also Dot posted her sonnet, I think, in our Discord as well. So, and when I've got spring break coming up, so I might give you all a message in code using the poem code method if you want to go and do some code playing in your free time. But we are back, and I'm really excited for the second half of episode 2. And my, there's been a little bit of shenanigans in the first half of the show. Only a little. And we left in a little bit of a bit of a moment. But before we pick up on it, I want to ask you all a question, because I like to ask you all one question an episode, to get to know your characters a little bit better, for me and for you. And so this is this episode's question. And I'm going to start with Stiver this time.
Ooh, okay. Ask me this question.
Has Tango ever killed anyone before?
Oh, that's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to think that Tango has gone out of his way not to kill some people.
Mm-hmm.
So he's always gotten by with just a silver tongue or a sly way to just get out of a situation. I think the thought of violence, now he's actually got a skill in shoot.
Yep.
But I think that's more for like, I don't know, just protection, but I don't think he's ever had to actually use it.
Mm-hmm.
He's been, and I want to say that that's just like his SOE training gave him that skill and shoot, but I don't think he's ever actually killed anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thought of it makes him pretty sick because as much as he seems pretty, I don't know,
Agent
aloof to-
badass.
agent badass, I think that when he dig down inside, he really does care a lot about people at their core, and he doesn't want to hurt them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so never killed anyone.
I'm going to save Dot for last. I'm going to go with JF. Has Jules, we know that Jules was not given the position that he wanted in the military. He was a cook rather than a soldier. Has Jules ever killed anyone before?
Jules has not killed anybody before. He's since he was a cook, he did not get the chance to go to see combat. He, upon returning home to Paris, defeated Paris. Of course, there was tempting moments. There's not only the Nazi soldiers, but particularly his countrymen, countrymen of his that collaborate, and that's even more infuriating. And then there's also the temptation because his father was a soldier in the First World War, and he never really knew him, but he has his pistol, an old pistol, officer's pistol from the First World War. And he's been tempted occasionally to use it, but it's not something he thirsts after. It's a it's something that flashes into his mind sometimes because of the frustration he's experiencing.
Fox.
He's been trained,
but you've been he has been trained. Rocket Fox. Chat has pointed out that you have probably killed quite a few people with your icy stares. If looks could kill, as it were. To quote the Heart song, if looks could kill, he'd be lying on the floor.
And trails of broken hearts.
Yes. Has Sylvie killed anyone before?
She has, before she actually got to Paris, though. It was before her jazz days. It was part of the reason her leaving America, aside from just the lack of opportunities.
And also really wasn't great being mixed race Asian American in the United States in the 1930s. Yeah. Yeah.
Which, it was not like she was seeking out people to kill. It was more of just a self-defense situation.
Does she think about it?
I think it's indicative of a lot of trauma situations where she doesn't try to think about it. It just kind of creeps in once in a while if the wind's blowing the right way.
And that leaves us with Regina, who has one of her best skills being shooting. Regina. Dearest Dot, has Regina ever killed anyone before?
Trooper, why do you ask me questions you know the answer to?
I don't know the answer to this question.
You so know the answer to this question.
Do I?
Yeah. Regina's killed a fair share of people.
She's ever met.
Yeah. She has she's good with the gun. She's really good with a gun. And yeah, that's all. That's all you need to know right now.
That's all you need to know right now. I will just say this.
Right now.
Levi asks, I can't believe there was a reason Trooper was saving Regina for last. I know. It's almost like I know her. I've got a car horn going off in the background, but let me ask this question. Does she think about it?
Yeah, because she doesn't kill people really anymore. At least not the way she did.
That's all. That's all I wanted to know.
Everything changed the day she watched them burn those books. Like at the core, who she was different. And like the purpose of why and who she is changed.
And so, with that bit of thought hanging in the air, it's a difficult moment right, in Paris right now. There are a lot of people who are displaced. There's violence in the air. There's always the threat of violence. And you all are resistors. And the thing about resistors is that you may be asked to do any number of things, and those things might result in people's deaths. And you'll just have to ponder how you think about that, what you feel about it. And so, let's bring our scene back to where we last left it. It is the night of May the 12th, sort of getting late. The band is playing above. There's a sort of a heated discussion, low note so that people who are listening can't overhear it. But Sylvie, Regina, and Tango are having a discussion about the presence of Nazis in their bar, whether or not it's a good thing or not. And Regina is sort of breaking the news sort of a little bit on the side that Jeanette, the mistress, is probably coming back. And surprise. But our Jules was sort of, there was a discussion, and actually also Regina and Tango were trying to let Sylvie know that they have an American airman in the basement. Surprise! And having this discussion.
A very thirsty one.
A very thirsty one.
In so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because we didn't leave him any food or water.
Right?
Like, oh my God, do you feed them? I don't know.
Well, here's the question about that. It's kind of hard to feed people when everyone's on a 1,300 calorie ration. There is not a lot of food. Not a lot of food. So feeding them will be a little bit difficult. Now, Jules decided that he would sort of go down there to check in on this flyboy to see how he's doing. And when he makes it into the basement, in the basement there is a family. It looks like husband, wife, perhaps mother, and 2 children. And they are in the basement. And when you make your way, and they're not in the secret room because they don't know where the secret room is, but they're in the basement. And when you walk down there, Jules, you see them and they look up and they look frightened.
He looks a bit surprised. He looks them over. Is there anything particular, if he looks them over in silence before he starts talking to them, is there anything he would notice? He's guessing Jewish people, according to the passports that we found.
The yellow stars on their clothing would confirm that, yes, this is a Jewish family that is in the basement, in your basement.
So then he has a sinking feeling because we just found those passports a day ago. And so this is kind of the conclusion of that as he looks at them, kind of chewing his lip, and he says, he asks them, already half knowing the answer, "Qu'est-ce que vous faites là?" Which is, what are you doing here?
And they look, they don't look, they look like good middle-class folks, but they also look like they have probably been maybe in hiding for a while, right? So they look like people who had once been sort of a good sort of middle-class family who've been, who knows where they've been, right, for the last time period. And the matriarch, the older woman, probably like the grandmother, she turns to you and she speaks in a French that is accented. You would guess sort of Eastern European, perhaps. And she speaks, and she's like older and she's a little frailer, but she seems to be the one who is sort of running this family. And she says, you are not Sylvie, but we've been told that this place was a place where people could come. A safe house.
Who told you this?
There's word and whispers sometimes.
A word or whispered sometimes?
Yes.
Do you have a name?
No, there were other places we wanted to go, but can we stay?
I am not Sylvie. There is no Sylvie here. If you do not have a name for me, I cannot help you.
You know, your resisted cell is a character and has its own aspects.
Okay.
One of which is passionate for the cause, which is your trouble aspect.
Oh, I see.
Oh, yes, it is. I feel like
I'm passionate about it. I just want to make sure. Jill is just trying to make sure that they're not double agents
for
or
example.
whatever. Yeah, because that's been known to happen.
It has been known to happen.
Yes.
I just
You're
want,
friends with a double agent.
for example.
So it's just kind of suspicious that they would pop up right after the Nazis left. So he's just yeah, he's not trusting 100%.
I'm just throwing out that there's a little aspect.
He's feeling a pang in his heart.
Hanging out.
He's feeling it, but he's hiding it.
Yes.
A bit.
And they say,
This is why I trust this. This is why I hired him to be my bouncer.
it's true, because he's the protector.
He hides the pang.
He's a little suspicious. and the matriarch, she's like, we must speak with this Sylvie. We've been told this is a place we could go. Also, by the way, audience, just in case you know, they do have the aspect passionate for the cause, but I'd also point out that one of the game aspects is trust is dangerous.
That's right.
And hey, Trooper. Sometimes I really hate you.
Do you? Or do you love me?
But do I love you?
And they say, this woman says, can we speak to Sylvie? Please.
You will... I will see if there is a Sylvie here. You will wait in the corner. And he goes to check on the flyboy.
You move past this wardrobe, you move it back, and then there's a door there, right? And you open the door has been locked, I assume, by Tango, but you have a key. So our flyboy's not getting out.
I'm just going to knock. I'm not opening.
Not opening it? You
knock.
You're like, no.
No.
And you hear...
Errol Flynn, es-tu là?
And you go, oh, I'm not Errol Flynn. Is it time for me to come out?
No. We will be bringing you drinks shortly.
Okay, can I get like...
Shh, be quiet.
And you hear, everybody says that to me.
I'm going to look at the family. Now, are they in a corner there, a kind of place where they're not going to be noticed as soon as somebody goes down, kind of thing? If not, he's going to kind of hustle them into a kind of space where they won't be instantly noticed. Yeah,
you're going to have to hustle them like sort of in a corner, like amongst all the stuff.
Yeah. I say
they're
it's
all
important.
on their head, like...
I'll tell them it's important that nobody sees you or hears you.
And they're quiet. Unlike you hear a bit of shuffling in that secret room over there with your flyboy is like, sounds like maybe fell over maybe.
I'm gonna go next to the door again. Shh.
Right.
Okay, and then I'm going back to back upstairs.
Mm-hmm. And Jules comes back up, and the bar is sort of quieting down. Like the bar is still playing, the band is still playing, without and Charlie's doing her best to serve drinks, and while you are also having this powwow, because she knows, Charlie, our bartender, she knows the things that you all get up to, as do some of the band members, right? There are people who sort of go through this place that know a little bit more about it, and so she knows this is like, you all need to have some discussion, and she keeps customers away from your conversation. And Jules emerges from the back.
Mm-hmm.
Please tell me he's there.
Yes, he is there, and he has company.
What?
Pardon?
Well, not exactly. They're not exactly there for him. but there's a family down there hiding.
What?
And they want to see Sylvie. They
What?
said somebody told them that they should come here and find Sylvie, and Sylvie will save them from the terrible Nazis.
They're not my family, are they?
I do not think they're your family, Sylvie. They seem from Eastern Europe.
Oh.
But
so just keep bringing them in.
No.
We got more. That's what's going to happen now. We got a
there's
whole
still some space downstairs. If we,
I blame all of you. You bring one person in and all of a sudden they start multiplying within 10 minutes.
How do they know to come down here, Sylvie? How do they know?
How
we're
down
coming?
there?
let us know.
Did anybody see anybody walk in?
No. Is there a door to the basement?
There's a back way. They probably came in the back way in the same way that y'all came in.
Okay, I'm going to have
Right. Now our
going
secret
right away
entrance.
to get somebody to watch the back door. This
I
is
think
unacceptable.
I think that's wise. People are just coming and going. This isn't hostile.
Did you tell them she was here?
I told them I did not know if there was a Sylvie here, and that is what I told them. So
We need to ask them how they knew about Sylvie.
I'll go down and see. I mean, everyone knows that I sing here. It's not a secret.
Right, but does everyone know that you take in people?
No, but anyone off the street could show up and be like, "Oh, you know."
Yeah. All right. Let's go down there and take a
Listen, I
look.
don't want to toot my own horn, but people have heard of me.
Oh, of course they have. I mean, you're very famous and you sing very well and you dress
Don't
beautifully.
patronize me.
I'm
I
not patronizing you.
cannot kiss any more feet tonight. Can we go downstairs and get rid of the refugees
yes.
and just
Here,
wait
let me-
this out?
Let's go find out what's going on. I'll go see who these people are. Let's just.
All right. I'll stay up here actually, and I'm gonna keep an eye out. And if I see anything happening, I'll come down.
I'm gonna join Sylvie, and I'm gonna get somebody to go watch the back door. Maybe somebody, or
Do you have
maybe
a spare bouncer?
Someone needs to watch the back door. I don't care who does it. No one's coming or going.
a
This
bus
is
boy, whatever. Just-
No, you don't yet have Luke in your employ. That would be a good
Oh.
job for him, but he is not here
When he
tonight.
gets there, that's his door.
Until then, I'll actually raise my hands. Like, you know what? Maybe I'll go check that back door situation for you.
Well,
guys.
yeah, maybe I'll go with you then.
wonderful. I'll go
Alright.
downstairs and see what these people are all about. Can't have people showing up.
Guess so.
Crazy.
What's the tables? Because this place is still full of people, isn't it?
It is.
Sylvie, don't forget to get names. Who named you as somebody that lets refugees into her place?
Mhm.
Listen, I know. I'll find out.
Because now we just got to keep watching that back door from our refugees. It's
They
just,
did not want to tell me who sent them.
Ugh, ridiculous. So she goes down.
So I'm going to need an awareness roll from Regina.
Oh, okay, cool. I was gonna walk around and listen to people talking.
That's what I'm asking you for.
Perfect.
That is
wait-
exactly what it is.
Wait, what was it you asked for? I'm sorry.
Awareness.
No, I don't have that.
Well, you rolled a 1,
Okay.
right? That's good. That's all you
But no,
needed.
no, I didn't roll. No,
Oh,
no,
you
no,
didn't roll
no, no,
yet.
that was my last one.
Roll. You need a 1.
It's trying. Roll 20 is
Roll 20's thinking about it.
trying.
Because
It says rolling the dice.
it's like
That's a start.
it is a start.
Okay, I'm just gonna refresh the page. We'll see if it goes. If it doesn't, I'll just re-roll on this page for you.
And then also,
Yes.
I do want you to know that there is a fate point in the air for these refugees. Just so you know it, because they're a little bit of a complication for you all as a group. That you could take or you could reject.
There we go. A 0.
A 0. Would you like to boost that in any way?
Can I treat this as an investigation? Because I do have investigate, and I do have stealth.
Mm-hmm.
Very investigatory.
I feel like that is a yes. That
Okay.
makes sense to me.
I was gonna say yeah. Okay, perfect. Okay,
Oh, okay.
5.
Oh dang.
Investigated the shit out of busting those tables.
You do.
Really killed it.
You're going to get a temporary boost, my friend.
Ooh. Ooh.
because you succeed with style, right? You succeed so well that you have got a temporary boost that you can use in the future. And your boost, and this is for you, Regina, is up on the gossip.
Oh.
And
Gina's up on the gossip.
and you get a free invoke on that boost. So at one point in time, you get a free use of that one.
Okay, cool.
So you're going to be bussing the tables and sort of getting a sense of what's going on here in this space. And I'm going to need, Jules, I'm going to need you to roll a drive for me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
2.
That is a 2, which is what you needed. You are thinking on that car.
Yeah.
And
that's something I would mention to Tango as we're going to the back door.
please do. You two have a chat about it. But I will tell you this before you say anything with him. You have memorized that license plate, but also there are not a lot of places where a car like that could be serviced. It's a German, right? It's a German car. It's a nice car. And you are sort of thinking like, where are the places that a place like that is going to be serviced? And you can think of, if anything happened to that car, right? If there were some kind of problem with it, perhaps, you can think of 2 or 3 mechanics that they would probably take that car to. It's like you like, there's nothing wrong with the car at the moment, but were there to be anything wrong with that car for any reason, you know where they would take it. Like you can think of 2 different mechanics where they would go to. And since that was a success, you can spend a fate point to say that you actually know one of those mechanics well.
All right. Well, I guess I'll spend that fate point.
Mm-hmm.
Oui.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
So there is a mechanic that you know, and that is Boniface Fouquet.
Ah, mais oui.
And that is a mechanic that's just a friend of yours, and like you've known him for a while, and he is one of the specialists, right, in German automobiles. He's a really good mechanic with German vehicles, and he's one of the 2 best, right, in Paris. And if anything were to happen to that vehicle, it would probably go to him, and he is a friend of yours.
Perfect. Tango.
What, my friend?
Do you know you look a lot like Gary Cooper?
No, I don't. Never heard that before.
It's so true. You look like him in that movie. I forget the name.
Banana
But
shirt.
Doesn't matter. I appreciate the compliment. You do mean it as a compliment, right? That's not one of those.
it's your banana shirt. It makes
Oh, right. No,
you
this
look like
thing.
a movie star.
Look, I'm just trying to blend in. You know what I mean?
But one thing you do know about Frenchmen is that every single one thinks you're a movie star.
It's true.
And you're either Gary Cooper or Errol Flynn.
Yeah.
Or one of the. That's like a constant thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
No, Jules, I just want to let you know, I like you, man. You do good work,
Oh, thank you.
and you seem like an honest guy, and I appreciate that about you.
Oh, merci. I hope you are as good with a gun as Gary Cooper.
I have trained. I have seen a gun.
Good.
Do you have a gun, by the way? I have no gun.
You have a gun. You were given one because you're SOE trained, so you have
Never
one.
mind. All right, no.
You have a pistol.
Obviously, I have a gun, and yeah. Well, we'll see.
I'm hoping this
Okay.
is all stuff that he said. I don't. Actually, I do.
Yeah, that's keep it all in. That's what
I
he said.
see. Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. So
But, I'm telling you, Jules, outside the car of the commandant, I got the license plate.
yeah. Oh,
Yes.
it's great.
Yes. So
All
I think
right.
I know the mechanic where they take this car.
Oh, well, that's
So-
interesting. So, if we needed to, we can go back to that mechanic, and perhaps if there are other German cars coming to this mechanic, we can figure something out with that.
That's right.
Right? Yeah.
May-
Maybe we can start loosening some bolt. I don't know anything about cars, by the way. I don't know if you know that about me, Jules. I know nothing about cars. There's something called a carburetor. I know that. I only know that because there's car in it.
Yes.
And a barator. I love that. That part makes me sound like I know about cars, but I really don't, Jules. So, but I think we can muck around with that. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes.
Really figure something out that can,
If
we
we
just
could
loosen a little bit on each and every one of them.
something like this, maybe cut the brake lines like we
Yes.
did with the Gestapo, like I did.
Or make it really frail. So when they drive away, they don't think anything's wrong right now, but eventually that brake line will cut on them.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we should do that immediately because I don't know if you know this, but I really, really hate those Nazis. Do you see those posters?
Yes.
Just makes me sick the way they treat women.
Well, let me tell you, this is why as Frenchmen hate them so much, because of how they treat the French women.
Mm.
They
They won't even let them smoke, Jules.
have you heard of horizontal collaboration?
Excuse me. I'm sorry. What?
Horizontal collaboration.
Oh, I think I've tried that a few times. Yes. Horizontal collaboration. I
Learned
believe
so
that's
much
just
about
a-
tango
Not
tonight.
laughing.
Pretty sure that's a movie that I was. You know what? Don't worry about it.
This is actually
Anyways, no,
this is
but
what we
explain to
actually
me what
call
you
it in
feel like
France.
horizontal collaboration
This
is.
is what we actually call it in France,
Okay.
and this is
Oh, I
why
was
we
way
hate
wrong.
the Nazis.
Oh.
Yes.
So why do you hate the Nazis, Jules? Why are you doing all this? This is it would be a lot easier just to not be part of a resistance, right?
No, well, it would be easier, but maybe for a short time, but I think things would get worse. And also, I am more of a socialist. I am more of a person who believes in unity rather than being ruled by the strong. So
Tango's gonna put a hand on his shoulder. It's like, we'll get there, buddy. One brake line frail thingy on a car.
yes. And why are you here? Why did you come to France? Why are you in France?
Ooh, oh,
could
I
have
did not
stayed
expect you to ask me the same question, huh? Should have seen that coming from a mile away. Well, I'm going to be honest with you, Jules. I'm something of a revolutionist. You know, I really see myself as somebody who is just trying to do something right in the world. And these Nazis, they ain't doing anything right by anyone. And that's why I became SOE trained, and they threw me into the fire.
And he pats you on the back and he says, Gary Cooper, as long as you didn't come here for a woman.
Oh, no, she's long
It is
gone.
fine. It is great.
She's long gone.
For the French woman I'm talking about.
Yeah, that French woman's long gone.
Ah.
You know what? Let's not worry about her.
Okay.
We're just going to go, hey, when do you want to cut those brake lines? I think it'd be a nice night, you know, just a nice guy's night out. Just go cut some brake lines. You want to do that?
Well, I must find out about this mechanic, if he is collabo or not.
Yeah. Well, we could also pose as mechanics for a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we wanted to. Help him out.
Well,
I know the word carburetor.
Yes. I will think about it, my friend. I will think about it very much. And
Yeah.
we'll talk about it again later.
You just let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Tango will help you out.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're standing by that back door, sort of keeping it safe, you notice that it has been broken into.
Aha.
They jimmied the door so they could get in.
Oh.
Need some repair. Is what it's going to need. And looking at it, You have a mechanic, do you not?
Yes. Well, I'm Julie's quite good at mechanics.
I would like you to roll it for me.
All right.
Oh,
That's a 3.
yeah. So looking at it, you're sort of inspecting this lock to see what information you can glean, right? And this was a very easy thing to do. It was not difficult. And now what I would say is, so this is what we would call sort of creating an advantage, but it's what we'd call sort of trying to discover an unknown aspect. You're trying to like figure out what's up with this. And you succeed with style. And what you notice is that this lock was not professional. Like the people who broke through this lock were not experts. They're not professionals. They're not people with great skills in the matter, right? This was very much a brute force breaking, right? They
could have been somebody doing it for the first time.
Yeah, right. So it does not look to you like somebody who is skilled at breaking locks or who has done it often. Looking at it, it looks to you like it probably... there were easier ways to break that lock if you knew what you were doing. Right, so this does not look to you like somebody who either, and you went really well. It doesn't look to you like somebody knew what they were doing or knew what they were doing and then were trying to fake it. Like this, just like somebody who was actually just not, who are not sort of experts. These are not locksmiths or spies.
So Jules will look up from the lock to Tango,
and you could fix this, no problem.
And say, "I can fix this. This is amateur work."
Okay. Do we trust that? So here's what I'm wondering. This family comes in, they break this lock.
Maybe we should do.
Can I use nose for a double cross?
Yes, you can. That's if it.
I guess I'll.
But what skill would you like to use?
Let's see. I wanted either empathy to kind of figure out if everything makes sense. Now, I haven't talked to them, but if I'm just putting a lot of things together and I'm just trying to read people, and I know that this was amateur hour. Now, amateur hour would say that these really are just, I don't know, a family of middle-class people trying to break a lock. And I understand that. But I still want to try. I still want to figure it out. So maybe that
would be an empathy.
Okay.
Because you're like trying to think about sort of human psychology and what's going on there. Oh, that's a 3.
And I would have burned, I guess, one of your
fate points. The group ones.
Fate point or the group point. I'd like to burn a group point.
Yeah.
We have plenty of those to burn.
Yeah, and that'll put you at a 5, which is very, very good.
Okay. So I'm sitting back because I always feel like there's a double cross everywhere I go. I'm going anyways. So yeah. Amateur hour, everyone's breaking in. I'm just kind of doing that math behind the scenes of this is really close to us actually moving in an American guy. There's mouse at play. There's all kinds of Nazis that randomly showed up here. I'm just putting all this together.
And you are sitting there and you have an idea. That said, in the basement.
Damn it. Sylvie, Trooper, I loved you at Gen Con, but not right now.
Hey, you have an idea about the people in the basement.
Yes.
Speaking of people in the basement, Sylvie, you walk down there and you see a family that seem stressed out, frightened. You don't notice them at first but they're in the corner and they see you. And the grandmother, she looks at you with a look of recognition, as if she recognizes you. You have never seen her before. And she goes, "You're Sylvie, right? You look as beautiful as he described."
Well, that depends. I've been described by a few as beautiful. Who might you be referring to?
Dimitri.
She drops her the stuff that she's holding at that point. Who are you?
And they kind of look amongst themselves, and the grandmother speaks, and she says, we are coming from the east. We were on a train with Dmitri, and we escaped. He did not. He continued on. They're taking all of us to camps. And he told us if we could make our way here, you could help us get out. He said also that he loved you. We should tell you that.
When did you get off the train?
We have been here in Paris for 3 days. We were trying to find someone else. We were told there was someone who was smuggling. The father, he goes into his jacket. He goes, we have money, and he pulls out like a gold pocket watch, and then the wife sees that, and she reaches in and she pulls out like a necklace of pearls, and they pull out the only things they have. It's not cash, but they have a sort of like jewelry, these sort of heirlooms, these mementos from their family, and they bring them out. And the grandmother, she says, we were told there was someone else here in Paris that is helping out Jews leave the country, or anyone. There's a man who's helping, and we were told we ran into others, and they said that we told them that we knew someone, but we thought maybe we shouldn't say to everyone. So this other family we know, they went to this other man. We don't know where he is, but we came here. We were told that Dmitri said you would help us out.
She first actually kind of yells, "Put that away!" just to their stuff, and then kind of lowers her voice. Put that away. You don't put your things away. Where was he going? When was the last time you saw him?
And they look, and you can tell there's a bit of a darkness in this moment, and they say, and the grandmother keeps speaking. She says, we were in a transition camp, a work...
I don't know what that is.
They're sending Jews to work camps, concentration camps, where we are being kept and made to work, and they are bringing other people in other spaces. And we stayed a little bit when we were taken from Poland. We were in a small camp, and there's a man, Dmitri, there. He says that he knew the most beautiful woman in the world in Paris. And he was afraid. He says that he did not feel like anyone was coming out of these work camps. We thought that maybe he was being too ridiculous. But he said that we should get out. We are from the same hometown in Poland. I did not know this Dmitri, but he looked like a good boy. And he made a scene, made noise, he made a fight with someone else in the camp, and that was enough when we were on work detail to get us out, and we ran. They beat him, I think, but we were able to escape in the forest, and we walked for days, all the way through. So long, and we made it here. We found out some other families, and they said that there was a man who's helping Jews escape from France here in Paris. But we never found him, but we found you.
How did he look when you saw him?
He was tired. They don't feed us well. But he was, he kept people's spirits up. But there is a bad feeling in the city. I know so many people are trying to get out. There are people who promise they can help Jews leave Paris if we have enough money, if we have something. I mean, we will pay if you can help us.
Please don't say that. She goes down and starts picking her stuff up. Nonsense. I wouldn't hear of anything like that. You certainly have paid me a great deal by bringing me this news. Hearing that he still has his humor about him is great payment enough. Yes, please stay here for now, and I will be right back.
We didn't tell anyone else where we were going, but we thought it would be safer to come here than to go with the other man. They had a bad feeling about him.
No, do you remember what they called him?
And she speaks in Polish to her family, and they sort of talk amongst themselves a little bit, and she speaks again for them, and she says, we never met we met him once. He said that he could take us out if we gave him what we had, everything. We had to give him our papers and also any valuables we had, and he would ensure we could get out. But the other family we spoke to, they went with him. But my little one, Tanya, and she gestures to her granddaughter. She didn't like him. She had a bad feeling about him, and so we decided that we would take this chance to see you, hoping we would not bring any trouble upon your house. He was tall, thin. He had wire-rimmed glasses. Older. He had his hands were a little precise. I think he called himself the Hawk. He is they say he helps all the people get out, but we thought we should come to you instead.
Well, how old is the granddaughter?
She looks to be about 7 or 8.
So Sylvie kind of crouches down in front of her.
And she's sort of like, she's just like holding on to her mother, right?
Well, she is addressing her. I think you made a very good decision, sweetheart.
And she looks up at her mom, and her mom looks up at the grandmother, and the grandmother translates what you said into Polish. And the little girl sort of nods. And then she says something. She says this thing. And the grandmother says, this man had bad eyes.
Well, that's good to know. Thank you for the information. Please, stay here. We don't have much, but let me fetch you something to wet your throats.
We've been walking for days.
I can't imagine. So then she goes upstairs. She figures she doesn't have to tell them to be quiet.
Oh, they're quiet as a mouse. There is someone in your secret room, however, who's a little less quiet.
Really? Still?
There's like humming.
She on her way out is going to go over and just like thud on it, like with her hands.
And then you hear some American voice being like, Is it time for me to get out here now? Can I leave?
She doesn't even say and just like goes upstairs.
Up in the bar, Regina's bussing tables and walking around, and you're sort of checking out this place. And you've worked here for a while. You've been here at Sylvie's place at Bricktops since you escaped, and since Jules helped you escape Germany. And you've been here for a while, and so you know the locals. You know the scene. You know most of the people who come in and out of this place. And you get a sense of, you see some of the regulars who are chatting, and they're chatting about things that for the most part seem mundane, although not completely. There's a little bit of, you hear a little mention of some, a little concern about people going missing. And it's, when you hear it, like maybe the first thing you think of is that the Nazis are sort of taking people.
Sure.
But as you listen, it doesn't seem like that's what they're talking about. It doesn't seem as if they're talking about, you don't get the sense from that there's not euphemisms for being taken. That there are people who seem to be going missing, and it doesn't seem as if they're being taken, and there's a little concern here or there. And then somebody says, well, maybe they made it out, right? I'm sure they just made it out. So it seems to you like there's a bit of a little concern about people, maybe refugees, going missing, and it's a little bit unclear if maybe they actually just made it out of France or if something else happened to them. And there's a little bit of a hushed conversation between these two women who are there in the club, and one of them says, "No, I don't think he made it out. If he would have made it out, he would have told me. He would have contacted me by now. He would have sent me a message, and I've not heard from him." And the other one says, "Well, please don't be so worried. He just probably hasn't contacted you yet, but he has a good contact. I'm sure he's gotten out safely." And the first one's like, he would have messaged me. I was like, oh, it's hard to get messages in these days. Letters are difficult. And so there's some kind of concern about some loved one.
This man, yeah.
It's some man. And as you sort of make your way through the club, there's this sort of group. And these women that you know, these are women from the neighborhood.
Okay.
They're not, like, one of them is they're not Jewish, that you know of. They're not wearing stars, but they're like the kind of, they're probably communists, intellectuals, right? And part of that kind of scene that was hanging out in the club in the earlier times. And there's something going on there. There's a person in the bar that you don't know at all, that you've not seen before, who just seems to be in the corner drinking silently, which you're not quite certain about that one.
Should I be concerned about that one?
I have a question. Would you like to give me a fate point? Or would you like me to give you a fate point?
My. Are you playing on my troubled aspect?
I am playing on your troubled aspect. I feel like that this person lurking in the bar could be... It could be no one if you give me a fate point, or... well, no one. Nobody particularly terrible. Or this person could be part of an intelligence circle that's left behind after your colonel left, just to keep an eye on the bar. Someone who maybe might recognize you from the old days. And if that's the case, I will give you a fate point.
Okay.
Or you could give me one to say that they're not somebody who actually recognizes you.
No, why would I do that?
Because if they recognize you, it's no good for you, my friend.
Well,
but it's up to you. Like,
how many? We got tons of group points, right?
You do?
Okay, I'm gonna play it off.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of group points.
We got a lot of group points, and we have had far too much trouble tonight, and I am carrying a Nazi officer's card in my pocket. So
You
I
are.
just need nobody to recognize me. I just want to get to my cup of joe at the end of the night.
All right. This person in the bar,
Trying to get a cup of joe.
I'm taking that fate point from you. This person in the bar, you recognize them not as a specific person,
Okay.
but you recognize them from the way that, like, it's almost as if maybe you are well acquainted with German intelligence for some reason, perhaps.
Right. Right.
Perhaps you are. And there's a bit of an air about this person. You think that this person has clearly been left here by Colonel Falke to just to watch, see. But you have given me a fate point.
I have.
So there's not lots of trouble coming out of this. So just watching, it seems to you from their demeanor, from what's going on, from the loudness of the bar, because the band is still playing, they have not overheard anything, or nothing has happened to arouse their suspicion.
Do they need a drink?
They do need a drink.
All right.
But I will say thank you for that. Thanks to that fate point, you're not going to get any extra complications. They're here, but they're not suspicious.
Okay, that's good. I walk over. Were they drinking something?
They were drinking. Well, let me put it this way. There was a drink in front of them that is barely touched.
I ask, is it not to your liking?
And he looks to you and he says with a French accent that is too perfect.
Yeah, I know what that's like.
You know, just a little too perfect. And he says, oh, I'm just having a hard day, a long day. I'm just a little tired from working. But thank you.
Something else?
Oh, no, I'm just listening to the jazz. And he smiles at you.
I smile back. And I turn to leave. He knows where I am if he wants a drink.
And the last thing you hear, because you had a very good roll when you were investigating the space, it was a very good roll. The last thing you hear as you make your rounds, right? So you're like, okay, there's this sort of couple of women here who are locals who seem to be sort of concerned about people making their way out. And then you've got this guy who you're like, nah, this is German intelligence, who's just scoping the bar, but seems to not be concerned. And then the last sort of thing that you hear in this bar is you hear these two women who are also not from you, not a local.
Okay.
And they seem to be, they're French. And they, now that you think about it, with that roll of a 5, they came in around the same time as the Colonel and Jeanette and his crew.
Oh, are they Jeanette's girls?
They're Jeanette's girls. And they're chatting a little bit. They're having a good time, right? Like, they're not scoping the bar. They're just having a good time. They're drinking some cheap alcohol. They're enjoying the band. They're a little sad they're not being asked out to dance at the moment. They wish they were. They're clearly like, I wonder like if someone's going to ask us out to dance. Like, they're very exciting and they're having a bit of a discussion about it. And one of them says, and this is what you overhear as you pass by them, one of them says, that bitch Jeanette, she won't let us into the party tomorrow night. Everyone says, well, that's an exclusive party. Not everyone can go. And she's like, but it is at one of the richest homes. Can you imagine who'll be there? I mean, there might be famous people. I bet there'll be big, important officers there and if we could snag one, can you imagine what this will mean for our lives? I mean, we won't have to worry about food anymore. We're not going to have to worry about rations. If we could get into that party tomorrow night, Jeanette has got to get us in. And the other one says, I don't know how much control she has over it. And they're sort of pondering this sort of big party that's going to happen. And they're like, I hear there's going to be amazing art there that we can see. They've collected amazing art. And I would love to see it.
Oh, I all but almost break a cup when I hear that part. The rest of it's garbage.
I can imagine her actually breaking a glass in her hands. Just.
And one of them says, if we could get to that party, I know we could snag ourselves an officer. maybe we could sneak in? Maybe? And there's like, I don't know, we just have to get Jeanette to give us an invitation. And the other one says, well, she keeps... And like, you can tell she's mad at this point in time, right? She's angry and she calms herself down. And she just says, if Jeanette just shows off that invitation one more time...
Did I see this invitation?
You did not see this invitation.
Who did?
Sylvie did.
Though, I believe we do know of someone who's going to be making a delivery somewhere.
But you get a sense that there is a very important party tomorrow night, and they do mention the address.
Is it the same time slot as said this delivery?
No, this delivery, he's got to work in the morning.
Oh, I see. Okay.
He's got to do
There's
some...
probably a lot of prep that has to happen before said party.
But there is probably a lot of prep that has to happen for said party.
As an event planner running a fancy establishment, that would be my guess.
And you get it's at the Chateau du Mont. So they mention that this is the location where it is, this great party tomorrow night and you get a sense from as they're talking that like it's very clear what they want. They want food. They want a German Nazi boyfriend so they can actually maybe have some kind of life. And they figure this is the best chance, and they're a little bit bitter that Jeanette is not going to get them into this party.
And I want a heist.
Okay. I can't decide if I ought to say something.
While you ponder, Tango.
Yeah, let me simmer on that.
You simmer on
that.
that.
That's a lot of mean girl action. Let me simmer.
There's some mean girl action, and like you can tell that they're best friends with her, but are they really best friends with her? They're
mean girls.
They're mean girls. They also sort of hate her. Tango.
Yeah. So Tango's in that moment. Like, I wonder if I piece everything together, if this is a double cross or not.
You're pondering it, and you are thinking about all the things that have happened to you today as the evening goes on.
It's been a big day.
It's been a big day. And you're thinking about, okay, somebody knew about that drop-off because there was an ambush. We got this flyer coming in. There are apparently somebody broken in and some refugees down below. Okay, let me sort of put all these pieces together. And you have a really keen mind for a double cross.
I do.
You do. And you are actually thinking about this, and you were thinking about the sort of the message that you got earlier today. Well, that Regina went out and she did. She got in the codes. She did the transmit. You're like, okay, could they have intercepted that transmit? Could that have been the case? Was it that? And then you're sort of going through timelines, and you're like, no, you don't think so. You don't think it was that. You don't think the transmit was compromised because it wasn't enough time. Right? This is a much larger operation they had, which means they knew about this. They must have known about it before today. So whoever is the compromise is somewhere on the planning process, right? You're thinking about how does this sort of like when you're going through chains of smuggling information, you're like, okay, somebody knew about this smuggling and they knew about this comment line earlier. There's somebody probably within their organization. But you also are like, okay, the comment line is not from London. This is not a London operation. You think it's probably Belgian, right? So there's somebody along that line, right, who's been compromised, and you don't know who it is, but it's dangerous, right? This is a dangerous situation. She, the little mouse, was not brought to your club. They don't know about your club, so you figure your club is safe from that compromise. So these refugees you do not think are in any way connected to that particular breach of security because that comment line does not know about this club. When you were brought in from London, London does not know that you're at this club either. They brought you in. They said that you're going to get some kind of a contract, but they don't know about the club. So the club is safe from this sort of triangle. So someone on that line has betrayed them, and you don't know who it is yet. But it is your sense that it is probably somebody somewhere along an insider, that there's probably an insider break within that organization. And it's probably not the little mouse because she was fingered. You doubt it's this American because he's not actually an insider.
He's too dumb to actually be any kind of, and not just play dumb, like he's actually dumb. Right.
And he doesn't know anything.
He fell over in a closed room.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
He did.
So I don't think like this
and as
family,
for these refugees
are part of the double cross, but I sniffed
but they're
the double
dangerous.
Cross. They're dangerous.
But there is a double cross.
There is a double cross. They're dangerous. Okay.
They're dangerous in the sense that those are 5 people, right? I mean, you have a way to talk your way through things, right? To sort of get around things. This American is dangerous, but he's one person. And if you can keep him quiet and shut up, he can be smuggled out without it being obvious.
Right.
This is a family of 5.
I haven't seen this family yet,
but 5 people's a lot.
But I think Jules described him enough, I guess, on the way. And they're also wearing big, giant flags of being Jews at this point.
Yeah.
So, but it's a family too, and they're not going to like hide that they're a family of Jews at this point. Okay. Yeah, we're screwed. We're super screwed.
And so you're thinking, okay, there are a bunch of moving parts here, but you're like, okay, I don't think the key to London has been compromised. There's a compromise in this comet line you're figuring. There's a double cross there, but you've been insulated a little bit. So you've got to make sure that whenever you do this handoff, that's going to be, you have to watch out for that. That's going to be a dangerous moment, not only for you, but maybe also for her. Like, has she contacted anybody about when and where the handoff is going to be? Because that would be perhaps a dangerous moment for you. So like, you're like, there's a danger there. And you're going to have to figure out what to do about this family because getting them out is going to be hard.
Right. I'm going to, and I'm thinking like, could I have them being handed off with Hickok? Is that an option?
That would be tricky because from what you know of the comet line, and you do know something about it because you are sort of part of the scene, is that it's like one person. They bring one person, right? They get somebody to escort somebody on a train.
And this family will not be down for just one at a time going through this thing and waiting like a week and then another week or another 2 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here's what I'd like to do, if you don't mind. I'd love to get a resources criminal, my criminal resource, and see if like I can just think of any other smugglers that are like people smugglers from my dealings here, and see if I can just think of someone that might be reliable.
Do you have contacts?
Yeah, I have resources criminals. I don't know about contact. I don't have any contacts.
Give me a contact. Give me a contacts roll.
Oh, is that just my?
That'd be 40F. Yep.
Oh.
-2.
Oops.
Okay.
Ooh.
So
that's rough.
This is what this is. You could.
I only know disreputable people who smuggle people.
I'm going to tell you a thing. You can, if you want, succeed at a major cost.
Oh, you've been pushing this, and I'll be honest. For the sake of just doing it, you know what? Let's just do this at a major cost. I want to succeed on this.
Okay. There is going to be a major cost to pay for having a people mover. And that major cost is you do know someone who moves people. This person that you know is not a good person.
Okay.
This person that you know is a human trafficker. Like, because you, my friend, were a smuggler, and not like an altruistic smuggler of things, not people. You do know someone, but that person is a very bad person. But that person could probably get them out, but you don't know how safe they would be. They'd be safe from the Nazis.
Right. But it's almost like when I smuggled art.
Yeah.
They weren't always going where I said they were going to go.
They were not always going where you said they were going to go.
Yeah. Okay.
You know someone, and this guy, his name, he's and you want to know who he is?
Yes.
Do you want to know who he is?
Yeah.
Do you remember in our session 0, my friend audience, when our tango came into the club after airdropping in and they all had to sort of make their way out from sort of outside into back into Paris and into the club. As they walked in, there was a little bit of trouble that they got a fate point for, because fate points are ways to get into trouble. And as they were as he was walking into the club, walking out of the club was someone that he knew, Black Marketeer.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Yes.
You.
Yes.
That's a bad dude who does something kind of what I do, but not. Yeah. I don't smuggle people, and that's a people smuggler.
And this guy is Sigmund Schor. And Sigmund is a German. And he is not a Nazi, but he's probably worse because he has no morals and no beliefs. He is completely narcissistic, self-centered, and cruel. And he is a person that you have run into multiple times. When you knew him, he was not in the German military, but when you saw him at the club last night, he was. He was in a German uniform, so he's clearly been drafted into German service. But you know him. You know him as somebody who's amoral and therefore not a true believer in the German cause. But
right. No, I also know, because it's half and half. It's also the fact that he's not really into the Nazi stuff.
Mm-mm.
He's kind of like me in a sense that he's into the making money stuff.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
But
right.
If you contact him, that will be complicated for you, because if you contact him and you need something from him, you will owe him a favor. And he is not the best person, but he can probably get them out. But you'd have to make sure.
Okay. I'll keep that in my back pocket.
And this is when Sylvie emerges from below to see, this is that moment where the bar is sort of shutting down, people are leaving. You've got Charlie sort of getting people out of the bar. And you're there, all four of you, when Sylvie emerges from below.
Hey,
Wait, I wanted to talk to the women.
Yes.
Can I talk to them?
Yes, you can.
I have an idea.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Before that happens.
Okay. Sylvie's, man, she's going to hate me after today. She's going to hate me so much. Okay. After they say all of this, I turn to the women and I just very quaintly say, I might have a way of getting an invitation. For you, of course, I'm not even worthy to go to that party.
And the minute you say that, I need a roll from you.
Okay.
I'd like a nice rapport.
I don't have any of that.
Or deceive, either one of those two.
I don't have any of that either.
Give it to me. Oh, that's a three. Would you like to fate point it at all?
Do I need to?
They roll a 1.
Cool, no.
You're like, no, I don't need it.
No, I just need to convince these dumb women that I'm telling the truth.
That is true. And they, again, empathy is not their high point, but you made it enough, not with style, but you succeed. Go on. You can tell your story.
I say, the proprietor here, Sylvie, is good friends with. I have to check my pocket for the card to know his name.
Helmut Falke. Helmut Wilhelm Falke.
Helmut Wilhelm Falke's girlfriend.
Oh,
do you know her, Jeanette?
Oh, we do know her.
Well, she is fond of Sylvie. Maybe Sylvie could get you all invitations?
The singer?
Well, if she has Jeanette, of course.
Is she singing at the party?
Yes.
Oh. And that is what convinces them, because that means that she's got an in. So if she's going to be at the party, then maybe, and they're like, well, if she's going to sing it, yes. Can you get us in?
Maybe.
Oh, please. We're all French.
Of course. I lean in and I go, maybe just give me a second.
And they nod. And
all right.
And Charlie's starting to like pull people out. And then she looks at you and she points to them. And she goes, should I let them stay a little bit longer?
Wee.
She's like, all right. And she's getting this starting like it's last call, right? And she starts moving them out, but she's not going to push them out just yet as you walk back.
Great. I was going to say, I filled their drinks again, so they're at least occupied and won't be listening to us.
And
on the house.
Oh. And they're like, and one of them is like, I think we might we might have an inn. Like, this is like the event. And this is where she comes out to where you all are by the back door when Sylvie emerges from below. So you all three are behind the curtain.
I have an inn. So we will.
What?
Okay. So you know our blonde friend who wants to sing so badly on the stage?
I'm aware of her.
Yes. You could ask her for an invitation to go to the party in exchange for the opportunity. Oh, the party, right. Regina's mind's like 10 steps ahead of everybody in this room. Like, she's already plotting tomorrow.
Yep.
And she says, I'm sorry.
What party are you talking about?
The party, yes.
I point. He knows what I'm talking about. He's with me.
Yes.
There's a important
big party.
Nazi smooze fest.
With the commandant.
So why do we want to go to this party?
Because there is fine art on display. Fresh to the city.
We should liberate it from their greedy little hands, is what you're saying.
I was thinking procure it, but I like the word liberation better.
We can't do it at the party.
Why
as
not?
Party goers.
Well, you would be the party goer.
Do you know where the party will be?
Chateau something.
Chateau du Mont.
At the chateau.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to work there tomorrow morning.
We need a distraction. Eye-catching one with a beautiful voice.
Regina, I'm not white.
What
do you think a party full of Nazis will think of me?
I'm pretty sure she was talking about me. Because of my majestic voice, of course. Never heard an angel sing quite like this.
I feel that if you took, say, her best friends with you, and I gesture I just lean and gesture over my shoulder to these two.
Tango's gonna look over and be like, well,
not
I guess
for
I
you,
could,
not for
I
you.
could take them, but I'm not sure. None of them are my type.
They are also seeking entry into said event. We need this. Unless you have a plan to take it out from underneath their nose beforehand.
Do we know what this invitation looks like?
I've seen it. Jeanette couldn't keep it in her purse the entire time we were sitting at the table.
What if she lost hers and we forged it because we actually have her signature?
So you're saying that
Wait, none of us look like her, though.
Sylvie needs to make an unexpected visit to say, offer her a chance on. Do you want me to do it? I can't do
you're certainly
it.
more Aryan than I am, and you would certainly fit in better than I. You're always talking about sore thumbs. How do you think I would fit in?
I look over my shoulder at these two women. Do they seem innocent? Because they're about to be my fall guys.
They don't seem innocent in that they are willing to do whatever it takes to maybe not starve, but there is a naivete that goes into thinking that you can play Nazis in that way, right?
Mhm.
But I shouldn't set them up as the fall guys.
It's up to you. I don't know. You can.
I mean, I think it would be doable.
Okay, fine.
Your aim is to get some art, right?
That is the aim.
But
Right.
there will also be a lot of important people at this party.
I would be,
Yeah.
Regina, I would be thrilled to do it. I just don't believe they would accept me.
Do you believe that maybe you're famous enough that they would, if you were to play some, I don't even want to say it, they're German songs.
What's wrong with
If you
German
were to-
songs?
If you were to propose the idea that you,
Well,
the famous Sylvia,
I do have a number of fans throughout the city. It's true.
exactly,
Soldiers among them.
and Regina, how do I say your name again?
Regina.
Rahina. Regina. Anyways, you know what I'm talking about, you. Do they know what Jeanette looks like? Because if you could get a forged invitation, or do those invitations even have a name on them?
I'm certain her officer boyfriend knows what she looks like.
Okay.
Oh.
I
And
have
he
a
would
new
not let her out of his sight.
plan.
And I'm just going to point out that it looks like Jules is going to be transporting all sorts of things back and forth to the setup for this party in the morning.
Okay.
Yes, I just want to point out I will be transporting all kinds of things. Back and forth. I told you, I'm going to work there tomorrow morning with Luc.
Oh, that's much easier. We're all just going to pose as people. Well,
I was thinking of just getting cigarettes, but if we must get art, then fine.
yeah, we get art, cigarettes. Look, if we can rob these Germans blind, then I think I'd be a real happy camper. Also, there's going to be some people downstairs that we're going to need to feed. If we can get some of their food.
We
at
left
this-
them down there? Why are they still here?
We are.
Sylvia, why are they still here, our faithful leader?
Are they still here?
Sylvie looks at Joel. They saw where Dimitri went. He got them. They were at a camp together. He got them out.
So we should help them.
They
Because
offered
need
me the baubles from their pockets. Like everything they had on them, their necklaces, their pocket watches. They had nothing. Like all of those passports and IDs, where do you think those came from?
Nobody else will help them, that's for sure.
So we're supposed to house 5 refugees. A
And one
dumbass American
dumbass.
pilot. Stop taking my words.
Sorry.
I pointed him. This is multiple times tonight, and Regina does not like it. She does not like the fact that we use the same
I
terminology.
think it's love.
She's not like that. And she says, and now what? Priceless art as well?
I have a large
Basement is-
basement.
Is it big enough for all of that?
Well, it will be because all of my alcohol keeps disappearing.
One bottle is not enough to replace 5 refugees. We don't even know where they came from. And you believe that they walked in here. We
They
had
bro- they
Nazi
broke-
officers upstairs
broke into-
tonight.
Yeah.
They broke into.
Yes. Well,
Hold on. Sylvia, who is Dimitri to you? You seem very passionate about this. And this is I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to say dumbass American because we already said I'm not going to use that terminology like you said. One hick from, I don't even want to say where he's from. That city just gets under my skin. I'm not going to tell you why. It's very deep rooted and it will probably come up 3 sessions from now. But a family is a lot, especially for what we're doing. That will get us killed, but I want to know why you're willing to do it.
Why don't you go down there and kneel down and tell that child in her eyeballs that you're going to throw her out on the street to the Nazis? And then she to Regina. And as far as I'm
Regina. Okay.
Regina.
Jesus. And as far as the rest of everyone's thoughts, as soon as anyone here sees someone they love get dragged out on the street and thrown into one of those cars and disappear and never heard from again, well, you may feel differently about all of this.
Tango is going to look at her because he is a man who loves a good passion story, a good story of romance. He is going to look at her and it's like, I'm going to go down there and tell them they're going to be safe. How about that?
And
he's going to go ahead and go down.
Before as he reaches the stairs, though, Sylvie stops him. Tango.
What, Sylvia?
Your banana shirt is very sharp on you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you
that's
very
where we're going to end the episode for today.
Oh, wait, I needed to tell the German lady something. Damn it! I have to write it down. I'm going to forget.
Write it down.
But that was too good. That was too good.
That's the moment. That's the moment. Everyone, that was amazing. That was amazing. I have only the love for all of you all. And I want to sort of just note that I've seen people spending their fate points to refuse a compel. I've seen people spending their fate points to get some bonuses, and also
to spend the fate points just to see what happens.
And then GF used his fate point to sort of create a small story detail, and that is that he knows the mechanic, and so you can spend those fate points to like get little story details like that, so you can use them for all that goodness. And I want to thank you for that. You have, at this moment, a bunch of hungry mouths to feed in your basement. 2 hungry women out front who desperately want to get into a party so they can get a German boyfriend. And you've got a lot of little mysteries running about, little questions about betrayal and people going missing. And what are you going to do about your flyer? There's a lot going on and some feelings. So I want to thank, first off, Lottie everybody in the chat for being here. That has been amazing. And I want to sort of shout out some love that we got. I want to say thank you for the follow, Phaeton88, and Rissa, who just gave us some love, gave us a bunch of love for this show and the cast. Thank you so much, Rissa. And Rocket Fox says that the episode title has to be Banana Shirt, and so it is said, so it is done. Our episode title for today,
Banana Shirt.
I am so glad we found that banana shirt in game, so that I could also, that makes sense.
So I want to thank you all for being here. I'm really excited to find out what's going to happen next. It's gonna be exciting. So for us all, I would like us to go around to end our episode and have everybody say who you are, where we can find you next, and then also tell me something you loved about something that somebody else did in the cast. Give some love to somebody else. And we're going to start with Little Red Dot. Oh, who's writing down? Oh,
Sorry, I'm writing notes before this leaves my brain because come next Friday I'm
that's
not
fair.
Gonna remember it.
That is fair.
But okay. I'm
Who are you?
I'm Little Red Dot. I'm Little Red Dot. I am a streamer and a storyteller, and my streaming schedule is about to get real crazy because it looks like I'm gonna be doing more of that from home. And I'm excited to announce that my theater company is launching a Twitch channel as of Monday, and I will be producing and moderating and making that entire process happen. So if you want to come watch a bunch of very qualified improvisers make their own content, literally they were given no parameters and 20-minute slots. It's gonna be a whirlwind over the next few weeks. So I'll be posting about it. You can check it out a little bit more. But that's what I'm up to, I guess. Lots of streams, lots of shows. Follow me on social. That's the easiest way to do that. Tonight, though. Tonight, I have to say, Fox, choosing to stay honest to character and say what you did to the Nazi officer.
Oh, yeah. That
Makes
was
me love you
perfect.
as both a player and your character. Just owning it. So yes, definitely my favorite moment of the night to accept that complication.
And I just have notes, just some notes. It's great time. And I'm really excited that we now have a Nazi spy in Regina. At least that's what the Colonel thinks.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he needs to continue to think. I can't wait to feed him incorrect information. I can't wait. I can't wait. I got plans on plans. I am gonna be a triple agent by the time this is over with. That is goal. I'm serious because I'm also a proper German, which means I could probably tell him that I'm a German spy posing as a French woman, which is in and itself like Inception level spy bullshit.
Yeah.
So
You're so many spies.
I would be so many spies, but he would
So many
believe me
spies.
because I'm a good German.
JF, who are you? And where can we find you next? And tell me something that you loved about what some of the other cast member did today.
All right. Double Crits on Twitter. You can find me on The Witcher on Wednesdays with Foxhole, having a great deal of fun.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know if fun's the right word. No, fun. All right.
There are different kinds of fun.
All kinds of fun, all kinds of duress.
Yes.
Nerdy duress. And I loved how Sylvie got us in trouble tonight. I felt like that was, a ballsy thing to do.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that tremendously because it gave me a chance to, improvise a bit.
Yeah.
So.
And you're creating advantage for Regina was the only thing that got Regina to actually be successful in that one. If you hadn't come in there, that probably would not have gone so well for you all.
Saving the day, man. Saving the day.
Good times.
Stiver, who are you?
Oh, man. Who am I not? Let's see. So I am Stiver. You can find me, Holy Stiver, on all the Twitters and all those things. Wow. Today's session was really fun. It was a whole lot of fun, a whole lot of different directions. So I gotta say my favorite part was me not even being there. And I think if we had to pick MVP of the session, I really think Sylvia really caused a whole lot of great role play today in a whole lot of different ways. First off, my favorite ending to a session ever so far has been like, that banana shirt looks smart, really sharp on you. And I was like, yeah, like I used to see that movie just and it fades back, fades to black. Like that was really great. But also like her getting information on Hawk and talking to the family and getting the whole Dimitri thing was just, that was really good, solid role play you guys did. And I loved every minute of it. So good job, you two. But also, by the way, I just want to give a shout out. Everyone in chat, you guys are amazing.
Yeah.
You guys are just amazing, helping us out and saying a lot of kind things out there as we're just here, just doing a little French resistance, on a Friday. It's what you do.
French Resistance Friday. I mean, I think it's French no longer. Yeah. That's what it is. It's
FRF. Yeah.
FRF. Everyone has their wine. Yeah. And
so cheers, everybody.
Cheers
to you.
And I'll have my seltzer water. Rocket Fox, who are you?
Apparently I'm a shit starter.
Apparently.
Which only kind of translates to reality. But yeah, no, I am a performer, a storyteller, illustrator, lady of many hats and wigs. But yeah, I can be found anywhere you look up Rocket Fox. most notably these days on Instagram, because I know how to use that above other things. But I'm also going to be, I've been doing my own Twitch channel again. So I'm going to be there on Thursday at 3 p.m. Central for a few hours. So join me on there. And then come over here right after, because I hear, pray tell, that there's a stream here as well. But yeah, no, to echo what was just said, thank you so much, chat, though. It's such a bastion of positivity, for one, which is amazing. But also, it's really hard when we're playing not to look over and start see a really good idea and not just like pull it over and be like, yeah, that was my idea. Yeah, I totally thought of that, and that is what Sylvie thought of.
No less than 2 or 3 times, I think. I looked over like, oh shit, that's something I should have done. Yeah.
Well, and they're all over there like, yes, send Tango down as if he's Sylvie. I was like, that's a great idea. That's a great idea.
I wanted that immediately.
You're like, yeah, I will be Sylvie.
Just beautiful. The meme perfection. But as far as what everybody else has been doing, yeah, it's been great. Like I want to pull out a couple things that I've seen everybody doing because I like that sort of thing. I think something I saw from Tango that I really liked was the whole "you're a shadow.
Yeah.
Shadows don't talk." All right, you can talk right now, but but then I'll tell you your shadow again, and then you stop talking. And also, with Jules going down and interacting too, just like knocking on the door and being like, our guy in the closet being like, "Can I come out?" And he's like, "No, no." But also, I like how he handled finding the surprise family. And also looking out for me, like, no, there's no Sylvie here. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That's a guy that I would hire as a bouncer and keep on full time benefits. So
401k.
401k for everyone.
I will say you're wondering about the timing. There are reasons why this timing is what it is.
Well, that makes me sad. But aside from that, and just also, oh man, Regina, you are like, you're killing Sylvie a little bit. Man, you're getting into trouble that's also not trouble, but is trouble. But it's after my own heart too. So like, I can't be mad. Like use less.
That's why you called her shit, and then she called you on yours, and she's like, "What the hell now?" I just loved it. It was such a genuine moment. You're like, "Well, you're right, moving on."
It's like, yeah, use less of the alcohol, I guess, but like, but if you replenish it, we're square. So.
Which we now have, possibly.
There's some
we just all have to plug
possibilities.
our ears sometimes.
Yeah. We'll see. And I'm troopersjp, and I'm here on the Twitch at the place. And you can find me running this every Friday. You can find me at Tales from the Grim, where I'm in The Witcher with double crits, and that's a bunch of amazingness as well. And I'll probably be doing more stuff. Hey, Dot, pretty soon we're gonna be doing a thing, right? In April?
Yeah, yes, we are, when I make sure that my life is in a place to accommodate it. But yes, we will be doing a thing. It's coming. It will be April, but it may be a little later in April.
It's fine. Just let me know. But I'm just saying, I'm just giving a teaser, right? It's just like there's a teaser.
There is a teaser. Well, you know what? All of you here have been so terribly supportive, as we pointed out. Do you want to spoil it?
Only you're the GM, so you get to spoil it.
You spoil it.
Really?
It's your channel, yeah.
Okay. Guess what, everybody? Guess what? I'm going to be playing in an RPG run by the amazing Dot, and it's Overlight, which is this super cool setting that like is like it's a take on fantasy, but like a really different sort of take than you normally get. And so that's very exciting. It's this super cool setting, and Dot's gonna be running Overlight in April.
Starting in April, we gotta I just nailed out our last cast member, actually.
Ooh. And so this is me doing the hammer dance because I'm excited.
You can check it out. Renegade Games makes it if you want to know a little bit more. It's kind of like a It's a psychedelic fantasy where all magic and like lore is based on color and use of light. It's really beautiful. I'm very excited.
Awesome.
It's okay. Let me just, you know what? I'm sorry, we got way off topic here, but I got to show everybody. Look at this.
Look at that. Look at that art.
Oh, that's cool.
The edging is color coded
Yeah.
all rainbow. The game is beautiful, and I'm very excited to play.
Yeah.
That's
So,
sick.
and that is going to be us for today. And I will say, I'm excited for next week because our heroes have got possibly a heist. They've got some refugees to deal with. They've got a flyer they've got to deal with. They've got a mole they've got to deal with. They've got a lot on their plates that they have got, and they've got the March of History. So and they've got
So much to deal with.
yeah, you're in it. And guess what, everybody? Players, don't listen. Hey, guess what, chat? They haven't had any combat yet, but they might. And what will happen then? What will they do? Maybe they'll be able to avoid combat, and that'll be fine for them. Let's see. We don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
I've planned for
Most of them
that.
having killed people, right?
Yeah, most people, not
I
everybody.
guess some of us about to shoot our first Nazi. I mean, I don't know.
You know?
Trooper. I don't know what's going to happen here.
Welcome to the revolution, baby.
Welcome to
Right.
the revolution.
Resistance.
Well, let's hope they don't get into a firefight at the party. If they go to a party, I don't know. I mean,
We're going to a party.
Oh,
Oh, we're going.
100% Tango and Sylvie at least are going to be at this fucking party.
There's no way they're letting an American in the door.
There's no way they're not letting Tango into any party. I don't know if you know that.
I say we pose him as catering and put him in a van.
you
He's
know,
still getting in the party.
We're still playing this game. Get us out of here, Trooper.
I'm getting you out of here. You have a week to plan.
What if we put him in a giant banana costume?
Giant banana costume. Thank you, everyone.
Banana's the theme of the whole thing.
Thank you for being here. I will take care of yourselves, and I will see you all on the flip side. Thank you, everybody. Bye.